just like Zabrowski.
All right, race fans, welcome back to the One to Go Show, episode number 277. Bert's like episode 1000, just like Zabrowski. Not quite there yet. Not quite there. We got a little bit of time to get to there. I might not live that long. Let's just be honest. But episode 277, how are you guys? So first and foremost, Changa, how's the better half doing? She had knee surgery. How's that going? Is she healing up? How's the missus?
So I got home tonight and she was asleep, so I didn't bother. I made some dinner for me and I just came out to the camper to do the show, and I'm sure I'll probably get 19 text messages when she wakes up, but there is, just a slow process. Bedridden, hurting like a crazy, but on the mend.
That's good. Moving forward anyway, so Bert Chonga's been kind of cutting out a little bit there. He's kind of up in no man's land, so I'm not sure if he's getting text messages or what, but he cut out.
I am definitely not getting text messages.
No? Okay. So anyway, that's a former track champion over at the Proctor Speedway. That's the one and only Changa. Of course, we got Bert back in the house here, former editor-in-chief of the Full Throttle magazine, tear-off extraordinaire for MJ McBride. How's Bert doing?
I'm doing good. Just living life.
I sound a little bit depressed, Changa. I think his Packers losing to the Browns made him sad.
Oh.
Here, let's all wave to Bert. Hi, Bert. We love you, Bert.
That was not optimal. I'm sure every one of the Packer fans were a little disgusted by that. That was inexcusable, and you've got that was frustrating, I'm sure.
Well, it was inexcusable, and yes, it was frustrating, but I don't live and die sports. I mean, sports don't rule my life.
Liar.
So, I mean, I barely squeaked out a fantasy team win by a little under 3 points, and
yeah, Changa frickin' Tardy lost on his bye week. He played Bert, and Bert beat him. I got Bert this week. He's probably going to beat me too.
I've got 3 teams, and I'm 9-0.
I looked at his starting lineup, and it's like he's starting Caleb Williams over the Texans quarterback. Well, that turned out to be a really smart move.
But he sat JSN. So there is that.
Ooh, that's not good.
He didn't play in Jigba. So anyway, we'll get back to some racing. As always, Ryan Aho here. You're one of the 3 Musketeers, 3 Stooges, whatever you want to call us. But first, a shout out here, Impact Health Sharing. So if you pay for your own health insurance, whether you're single, a couple, a family, small business, maybe you have employees, but if you're paying for health insurance every single month and you're paying in your mind too much money, too high deductibles, where you're like, yeah, I got health insurance, but holy crap, my deductibles are through the roof, can't afford to go. And maybe you're looking for a change. You're looking for a different plan. Well, I have something for you. It's called Impact Health Sharing. You're looking right around $600 a month for families, deductibles right around $2,500 for the whole family. You can go to any doctor, any provider. It's been a fantastic deal. Reach out to me, 218-969-1380. Hit me up on Messenger, text me, however you got to get a hold of me. I can get you a quick, no obligation quote, get you the information you need to see if Impact Health Sharing is right for you. So with that said, I've been saying, guys, for, 3-4 years, I got to get to Thunder Bay. I got to get up there, right? Well, finally, me and my dad made the trip north of the border up to the Thunder City Speedway. Now, Bert, how many times have you heard Minnesota nice? Minnesota nice. You hear that all the time. Well, I call bullshit because we're not all that nice. Let's just be honest. I think Minnesota nice moved north because the hospitality that my dad and I received up in Thunder Bay was second to none. It was, I was with a legend, right? I brought my dad with, so it was kind of rock star status anyway, because of course he was with. But the fact is, it was unbelievable. My buddy up there, Doug Basarowicz, I think that's how you say it. There's a lot of letters in there. He corrects me on everybody else's name. B Alphabet, we'll call him. CRT Motorsports, Tanner Hendrickson, Michael Shalley. They had these sea cans. So Bert, do you know what a sea can is?
Mm-mm.
I did not either. He's like, hey, you can sit on our sea can. I'm like, I got no idea what a sea can is. Well, shipping container. That's what we call them in the States. Okay. So all the way, have you seen anything
Oh,
from
a
Thunder
sea
Bay?
can. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Goes
Makes sense
across.
now that, yeah, it makes perfect sense.
They go
So have
all
you
down the
watched?
back stretch there, right?
Yep, they're actually around both corners down the back straightaway. They're spread out throughout there. They have 20-foot sea cans there. And they, on top of them, they have like a big observation deck. They're made into an observation deck. Down underneath them, they got garage doors. You can have barbecue grills in it. You can watch from below. You can watch from above. A full staircase going up in them. Super cool idea, right? I mean, if you're looking at, if racetracks see that idea, that is a top-notch idea. And there was a ton of people up there. The crowd filled in later. They started earlier than normal, of course, because it's an invitational, but the crowd filled in later. Split the pot, guys. Again, I think it was both days was over $7,000. The winner's share, and I think the only race in our area that maybe competes with that is the Wissota 100. I mean, none of the other specials even get close. But
Is that
how,
Canadian money or American money?
yeah, it's monopoly money. 100% monopoly money for sure. So it's like $4,500 or whatever it is. But remember a couple of years ago, Dennis McCulley got kicked off the board, right? Wissota board. They axed him off there. And they gave him a couple reasons. One of them was, oh, he had a USMTS flag on his camper at the races, right? And then they said, well, so one thing that he did, he went to all the tracks. Dennis was one of the board members that went to all the tracks throughout the area, as many as he could. And then he would critique them. He'd be like, hey, this is what I like. This is what maybe you could change, giving them feedback. Some tracks didn't like that, so be it, right? But he's like, I'm going to make up my own award, personally give it to these people, right? This isn't from Wissota. This is from me. And he gave the Thunder City Speedway an award at the banquet and recognized them for a job well done and the culture and everything they're doing up there. That was one of the reasons they wrote down for him getting fired because, well, the other tracks had their feelings hurt because, you gave them award and not anybody else, right? It's like, what are you freaking talking about, right? Well, here's the deal. Okay. If you're one of those tracks that maybe got your feelings hurt, or if you're a board member that maybe is like, well, that's just not fair, I recommend you take a trip north of the border, go to the Thunder City Speedway, and you're 1000% going to see why he did what he did. Okay. Guys, we've talked about this on the show for 5 years, right? Man, I wish it would get back to how it was in the late 90s, early 2000s, the people, the culture, the excitement, the vibe. I mean, I wish it would get back to that, right? All you got to do is make a trip north. That's all. I will tell you that. You make a trip up to Thunder Bay, it's like that every week. Maybe it's because of the newness of it, but the facility's awesome. The racing was good. The features, a lot of side-by-side battles for the lead in the features. But a few things that stuck out to me, right? Number one was the absolute energy at the place. And lots of young people, a lot of people under the age of 35, a lot more than I see at, Proctor, Hibbing, Grand Rapids. They got an older fan base there. They got a younger fan base up there north of the border. They had a main concourse in the front straightaway. So they got the main grandstands, and then they had a whole big concourse with all kinds of concession stands, tons of different options. They had, an apparel place. Different race teams could have their trailers there, almost like going to a Lucas Oil race. I mean, it was set up really cool, right? And a couple unique things. It's like I'm kind of a fat kid, so I got to be honest. I got to have some food at the concession stand. Have you guys ever heard of poutine? I had not either, Bert, so don't feel bad. Chonga has. They're like, you got to have it. It was good. They had several different options. Had to have
French
that.
fries with gravy and cheese curds.
Yeah, but they had a specialty kind. It was I had the taco kind, taco poutine, which sounded even better. Yeah, even better, right? And then they had these deals called lug nuts. I'm like, that sounds pretty good. So they're Persians. Do you know what a Persian is?
Not really.
So I'm like, well, Persian, it's kind of like a donut. Don't say that up there, they get offended. They're like, we built half our freaking town on Persians. They're a pastry type deal. I think they're kind of like a donut. It just is what it is, right? But it was those deep fried. They kind of had some cinnamon and sugar on them. Way too fattening, but they were good. You wouldn't like them, Changa. Yes.
I think we're kind of like a donut.
Right. Little bit fluffy for sure. No question about it. So, but it's always cool seeing the unique things at the concession stands. Former racer involvement. Guy driving around on the four-wheeler, kind of in charge from, you could call him the track steward or whatever. Former Labor Day shootout winner, Changa, in the modified. Number 112. Remember?
Yeah,
Jeff Marshall. I didn't get a chance to talk to Jeff, right? But then Ross Schutte came over. I was visiting with Mayor Ashley Boyum now and Wyatt, and Ross Schutte come over. He's the head judge of the place, and he come in, and they were making their rounds. Hey, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Like all the officials were going around. Super cool. You don't see that at a lot of tracks. And I'm like, I didn't catch your name. He's like, Ross Schutte. I'm like, wait a second. Ross Schutte. Like, hold on a minute. I pulled up my phone. I went through my photo album on the One to Go Show page. I was kind of posting one through whatever. I'm like, number 25 here? This guy, is this you? He's like, holy shit. That's my last car. It was like 1984 or whatever. Old limited late model type of deal or whatever. He ran over, he got his old pit guy was there. He was super pumped to see that. That was a heck of a good time. Another thing is they have a racing museum up there, which Lauren Inman had told me about, and it's called Russ's Garage. And it's actually at Pioneer Village now. It used to be at his house. Unfortunately, Russ passed away here a couple of years ago, but they go back 30, 40, 50 years, I guess back to the 70s, maybe even earlier than that. They had rebuilt race cars and photos. Mike Rich had a race suit up there. I mean, a ton of different stuff. And I guess there's like way more stuff still at their house, but I thought it was super cool to kind of do that. And, me and Lauren and Mark Tremworth, we've talked about, we should do something like this. Pretty cool deal to be able to stop in. So if you're on your way up to the Thunder City Speedway, it's right on 61, Pioneer Village, Russ's Garage. Absolutely worth checking out. Very cool deal up there. I love the preservation of history. Bert kind of has his own preservation of history behind him right there with his diecast, but it's that on steroids. The post-race 5, I mean, guys, it was going till 3, 4, 5 in the morning every night. I mean, little bonfires, little campfires everywhere, people up and lively and energetic. Katie Vandekamp did the trophies, and she's doing a bunch of them now, so those were absolutely awesome. They just take a lot of pride in what they do. You can tell everything was clean cut. The place looked phenomenal. The racing was good. Then I talked to John I think it's Kopak. John Kopak or Kopak. Sorry if I got it wrong. I know he listens to the show, but him and you remember Kevin Monteith, Changa?
Really?
So his son Kyle, those two, they have their own podcast up there. It's actually on the radio as well. And they're like, hey, we were listening to yours. We thought, hey, it'd be a good idea to do one up here. So I got to visit with him. So Bert, we kind of inspired somebody else to start their own podcast. Kind of a cool deal. So shout out to those guys. Check out their podcast up there. And then they have a Grand Slam now. This is super cool. Racers. And to end with this, and then we'll get to the drivers in our studs and duds. They had something called the Grand Slam. Okay. So modifieds this year was, now, yes, it's Canadian money, but still a lot of money, right? Both nights was $5,000 to win for modifieds, right? I think it was $2,500 to win for the super stocks and Midwest mods, I think, but I know it was $5,000 to win for the mods. If you double swept both nights, heat and feature, both nights, $10,000 bonus. If you won the heat and feature both nights in the mods or the Midwest mods, it was a $5,000 bonus. Well, guess what? Nobody got that done, right? So they announced they're going to roll that over to 2026. So if you're a modified driver and you go to Thunder City Speedway for their their end of the year invitational, and you sweep both nights, it's going to be $5,000 to win night 1, $5,000 to win night 2, a double sweep, a $20,000 bonus on top of that. That's a shit ton of money. They're going to be promoting that all year long. There's no reason that everybody shouldn't go up there. Hell, I mean, I talked to a lot of the American drivers, Delphi and Nick Oreskovich and Chris Bredding and all these guys, and they're like, we just love coming up here. Darragon was there, Tim Johnson, I BS with him. I mean, had a great time up there, and just seeing a lot of people like Joel Kreiderman, Jeff Helgett, people that I grew up watching, being able to visit with these guys up there. I got to be honest, I think it's about the most fun I've had at a racetrack in a long, long time. And we all watch a lot of streaming. All three of us do. People watching the podcast, you probably all do too. But I am 1000% convinced that there's no way that anybody can convince me that it's not even close to the same thing. The vibe of being there, the culture, being around the people, it is, you got to get to the races. So I'm guilty of this. Over the last 5-6 years, I haven't gone to many races. Just have not, right? Probably over the last 10 years. It is way more fun being there than it is watching online. It's not even remotely close.
I have one question. I mean, obviously, you have to cross the border to get to this track. What kind of a process? I mean, is it easy to cross the border, or what kind of process is that?
Well, Jason Swan did not think it was an easy process getting across the border. I did. So literally, when you go up there, one of two things. If you have a passport or a passport card, you just pull up to the deal, you roll your window down, roll down the back window, hand them all the passports. They ask you a couple of questions, bam, you're on your merry way, right? Well, if you had any kind of, and I'm assuming it was, I don't know this for sure, probably a DUI about 18 years ago, I think it was. If you have anything like that, you might get lucky. Sometimes they won't catch it right there and they'll just let you go through. Well, we're up there in line, right? And all of a sudden I see, Kennedy's dad walking back. I'm like, where are you going? Right? And he's like, 18 years ago, he goes, they're not letting me in. They said, he goes, they didn't flag me 5-6 weeks ago when we came up here. It wasn't a problem. They caught him that time. So he ended up having to go back and right at the border, Changa, you might have heard of it, Rydens up there on the border. It's a kind of the gas station convenience store. Cole Chernosky's girlfriend's parents own that, and I believe Cole's girlfriend picked up Jason at the border, and I think he stayed at their family's house, like maybe her aunt and uncle or something like that, because there was no rooms at the casino, so he couldn't even get a room, so he stayed at somebody's house. But for the most part, very easy process. But if you had any kind of legal anything, I mean, they might.
You don't have a passport or a passport card, then what?
Driver's license and birth certificate. Yep, you can get up there with a driver's license and birth certificate. And I believe that if you've had some issues in the past, maybe a DUI or maybe some kind of a legal deal, I think you can call the Canadian government up there or the border, however you do it. And I think there's a pardon process where they can actually, that you can go through it. It's a little bit of paperwork, but I think you can get some documentation and maybe get yourself approved to be able to get up there. So there is a process if you've maybe been in trouble before, but it was definitely worth it. Bummer for Jason. I mean, that sucked. I mean, that's the first time that he wasn't able to be at the races with Kennedy. So, and she ran good in the heat and she was running in the top 5. I'm like, holy shit, am I going to rib him? If she goes out there and gets a top 5 in the feature, I'm going to tell him he can't come
anymore. Who was helping her?
I'm not sure. I think she was parked by, God dang, the Midwest Mod, William Moulter. They travel together a lot. He works over at SSR and kind of, they've traveled together many, many times. So I believe he was helping, and it's Kennedy. Everybody likes her. So I'm sure she had no problem finding somebody if she needed major help or whatever. But she handled it. They got it done. And, she ran kind of mid-pack there and had some, pretty average but fairly okay nights. I don't think she heard anything. But for the most part, fairly easy process getting through there. Any other questions?
Were you worried about the United States when it let you back in?
No. I figured maybe Wasota sent something up there saying, no, this guy here's a problem, keep him in Canada, but they did not. So thankful for that.
I got like 3 things. Was there a Ricky Weiss sighting or a Tom Nesbitt sighting?
Tom Nesbitt, absolutely. So I saw that. We called me, Puka, and Ben Bros. We say that Tom Nesbitt's our illegitimate father, and people know why, because I was just as wealthy as Tom was at pit meetings, and we weren't afraid to voice our opinion. But yes, I saw Tom up there. I got to visit with him. I watched a feature with him. He's scooting around on his cart, not moving around as well as he did in the past, but he was definitely up there. And one thing I'll say is this: when Tom Nesbitt is positive, Tom Nesbitt's bold and to the point. He's going to tell you exactly what he thinks. And when he says, they're doing a good job up here, that speaks pretty good volumes. That's something they should be pretty proud of there, because he doesn't hand out compliments just to hand out compliments. He doesn't do that. So, they should be proud of that place. They, built a beautiful facility. They got a great vibe, a great culture, a lot of big sponsors, a lot of community buy-in. And right now that's lacking at a lot of places in the States. That's lacking. And it was worth going up there just for that. And I can tell you this, I will be there again in 2026. Jacked up, excited to go back up there for sure.
And then I think I heard on your live that you did up from there, they don't sell any beer at all in the concessions, huh?
That was interesting because, Tonga, let's face it, right? When the Canadians come down to our tracks, right? Hibbing, Grand Rapids, Proctor,
They drink us out of beer.
They drink us out of beer, right? They drink and they drink and they have a freaking fantastic time, and they like to party. But they do not sell alcohol in the grandstands. Alcohol's not even allowed in the grandstands.
That's your own either, huh? Okay.
No, but you can bring your own beer in, and you got to drink it like on the sea cans, and you can drink it after the races in the pit area. But they don't sell beer there. They want it to be a family environment, and I look at that and I'm like, man, that just seems like they're losing money. But the amount of people they're getting in that place on a weekly weekly show, I don't think they're too worried about it.
I would guess that there's probably, close to 2,000 flasks.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Glass bottles, right? Can koozies.
Water bottles.
There's alcohol being consumed there without question. But yeah, they're pretty proud of the fact that, look. And my dad said Riverview Raceway and Thunder Bay was the same way. They didn't sell beer at the racetrack there either. Very interesting to me. Yeah. Yep. So super cool deal. Glad I went. Thanks to all the people up in Thunder Bay for the hospitality. Had a great time, and be proud of what you guys have going on up there. And looking forward to seeing you guys again next year. I'll see a bunch of you this week at the Red Clay. So the stage is set, Bert. The stage is set for the Lucas Oil Late Model Chase for the championship. They ran this weekend, the Late Model Nationals at Knoxville, and the stage is set. Chonga's got the actual points breakdown. He can kind of tell us that. But Bert, I assume that you watched Knoxville this past week. What stuck out to you from down in Iowa?
Well, I mean, obviously, the talk of the whole weekend was the first night, with all the crashes that took place in the feature. I actually didn't watch that race until today. I watched the stream of it today because I knew we were going to talk about it, so I better watch it. But I mean, the track wasn't rough at all. It was just the fact that there was really only like a lane and a half that they could race on. And so it was difficult to pass. But yeah, Huddy took a very nasty roll, and who else rolled over?
Was it Carson Ferguson?
Yeah, Ferguson rolled over also. So that has to be the talk of it. The feature on Saturday night was actually a pretty good feature. I mean, they were going back and forth and for the lead and that sort of thing until Huddy got the lead late, and then he just pulled away from everybody. I mean, I thought it was a good race, but it's late models just don't race that well on that track. I know the drivers talk a lot about the air at that track. If you get in dirty air, you just can't do much there. So it was, like I said, I think it was a good race, but not as exciting as a bull ring.
For sure. But 15th to first, right? 15th to first is there was definitely passing.
I mean, the drivers are going to bitch about air everywhere they go. Man Bun Dan's going to bitch about air, if the air is 1 degree too hot or cold. I'm going to tell you, I saw Hudson O'Neal and JD run side by side for many laps in that race. The track's wide enough, and if you're, let's be honest, these guys are as good as it gets. They know how to drive where their air's not going to be taken off their nose. The good guys are better at it than other people, right? And I don't know. I didn't have any problem with what happened there Saturday. I thought the racing was incredible. All of the best guys found their way to the front no matter where they started. And, at one time or another, all of the best guys were in the top five, no matter where they started. So I think the air is, for a half-mile track where you would think air would be a problem, I don't think it was as much of a factor as it, obviously as it was on a night when the track's narrower, because it was wide on Saturday.
Now, one thing that the announcers did point out, and I had noticed this prior to them saying anything, but the drivers were able to race further in on the track because they cut that inside berm down a little bit.
That's correct.
Because actually, drivers would go down and their car would be like this as they're passing cars on the inside. And I think that was helpful that they cut that berm down and made it a little
100%.
bit more racier.
That's true.
Yeah, absolutely. In night one, right? I mean, they tore up a lot of shit. They did. And I saw the internet was going absolutely bonkers. We were watching it up on the Seacan up there in Thunder Bay, and we're like, hoofta. Or actually, no, that was Friday night we were watching. Thursday night we were not watching because we weren't there yet. But I watched that race, and I'm like, wow, right? There was a lot of stuff going on. But the fact of the matter is, God, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, right? Because
he would have canceled, everybody would have bitched.
Yeah, that's exactly it. The track was not optimal by any means, right? You had slime on the bottom, slime up high, a lane and a half in the middle. I mean, it was wide open and shit got crazy. But man, oh man, I mean, that crowd lacks anyway, right? There's not much of a crowd there anyway as compared to the sprint cars for sure. But the fact is, if they could have raced weather-wise and didn't, people would have just lost their minds. So, I mean, that was just a tough deal.
16 years ago, I went to Knoxville Nationals. Forecast was horrible. It said rain all 3 days. And my friend asked me, should we still go? And I said, well, it can't rain out all 3 nights. Well, it rained out all 3 nights, but
oh, no.
Of course it did, Bert, because you went. That's how that works.
They ran it Sunday afternoon, but on Saturday they did get hot laps going, and I saw in about 10 minutes of hot laps, I saw 3 rollovers. I mean, that's how fast that, and it wasn't from contact. It was cars would go into the corners and just roll over. That's how heavy the track was back then. So yeah, I mean, it's a situation, Mother Nature threw at them, and you're damned if you do and damned if you don't.
And let's be honest, right? Cars 25 years ago,
they were flatter to that one back then.
Flat. Now the cars all got attitude and they're all rocked over. So, I mean, if the track's aggressive or super sticky, they just take off in the snap of a finger. Right. So yeah, congratulations to Huddy. Changa, what are the points going into this week?
Okay, so they reset the top 4 going to the chase. You get 10 points for every one of the wins. RTJ is going to start out with a 70-point lead over JD and an 80-point lead over Devin Moran and Hudson O'Neal. So starting off with a a fairly sizable lead there with I believe, what did he have, 13 wins? Is that what it was?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, something like that. So this weekend, so it's a 5-race series, right? So this weekend they race Friday, Saturday at Brownstown, October 3rd and 4th at Pittsburgh, and then they race October 17th and 18th. 17th is not for points. 18th is the Dirt Track World Championship at Eldora. Now, let me ask you this. With Huddy has some momentum. I mean, didn't he blow a motor on night 2? Didn't he hurt a motor also?
He definitely didn't perform well. I don't know if he hurt a motor.
I think he shelled a motor. He was up in smoke. So night 1, he rolls over. Night 2, he's up in smoke. Night 3, he wins from deep in the field. Can he carry that momentum over? Because if you're out there, right, if you're the Sharps and you're betting on this deal, you're thinking, I'm going RTJ or JD got to be the favorites out of the 4 going into this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hudson O'Neal's the lone rocket in this deal. All 3 of the Longhorns. Can he upset the apple cart and win the championship as the one rocket driver in the chase?
Well, anything's possible, but no, I don't think so. I mean, actually, I don't think he'll win the championship, but I mean, the next two tracks, I do believe he does fairly well at, and he does well
Really
at
good at Brownstown.
he does well at Eldora too. But I don't think that he can overcome the points deficit that he has. My opinion.
I guess I didn't even realize or maybe remember that Huddy was in a rocket. Is that really a thing? There's people in rockets nowadays? For real?
Oh wait, no, Huddy's not in a rocket, is he?
No, I don't
No.
think so.
No, I'm
Huddy's in a
wrong.
Honda.
You think he's in the rocket car yet?
Yeah,
no.
holy shit! Donkey
Yeah,
award on
donkey
that one. Yeah,
award.
I'm a year out on that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what I
that
will
was
He
tell you
won
is
the
that
championship
So
in a rocket. He won the championship in a rocket.
he did. So no, it's
so-
all Longhorn, which absolutely sucks, by the way.
Brownstown, Huddy's awesome at Brownstown. Moran's awesome at Brownstown. RTJ's awesome at Brownstown. Not necessarily JD's cup of tea, right? You get to Eldora, that's JD's world, right? I haven't done my research on Pittsburgh yet, but I think it's imperative that Huddy and Moran, they got to get wins this weekend. They have to outperform JD, and RTJ if they're going to have any hope.
I would totally agree with that. Yeah, Brownstown's a great equalizer. That track's a lot smaller. Pittsburgh is ginormous, right? I think RTJ doubled up at Pittsburgh last year. I don't have it in front of me, but I know he ran well there.
Well, and RTJ's been awesome on half milers this year. The other thing in the equation is during their chase, and I don't know if this is good, bad, or indifferent, but there's off weeks for the World of Outlaw guys, so they're going to be involved in at least three of these 5 races.
Yeah, I don't know if a lot of them will go to Pittsburgh, right? Because I mean, that's
No,
kind of
well, I don't know if I think they might be racing the Pittsburgh weekend, but they'll obviously the Dirt Track World Championships they don't race against, and they don't race against Brownstown, so that's
Right.
3 races out of the 5. So,
right.
I mean, and now and I know, I believe, well, who's second in the World Outlaw points?
Hoffman.
Hoffman. I believe Hoffman won a race at Brownstown in the last year or two. So I mean,
It'll
I
be
think he runs
interesting to
good
see
there
if he
too.
goes. Because I mean, he's a guy that, he's battling for the championship. He might just stay home. He's a guy that doesn't really race a lot of Lucas stuff. So it'll be interesting. But I guess we'll know a little bit more after this weekend at Brownstown.
Pierce has Brownstown on a schedule for this coming weekend.
Okay. So that's that.
It's 50,000 win. Everybody should have it on their freaking schedule.
They should. Five races to decide it right now. Well, we have our bold predictions if you want to have some predictions. So we'll save it for that as far as championship goes. With Soda, though, okay, history doesn't get made very often. I mean, some people would say, hey, history, track record, this, that, and the other. I got to be honest with you. I mean, you win 1,000+ features. I don't care if you're racing against 7 cars or 70 cars. 1,000 features is an accomplishment. That is unbelievable. So Shane Sabrowski, who, by the way, told me he was not going to Thunder Bay, and he shows up there on Friday. I'm like, I thought you weren't going. He goes, well, we decided to make the trip up there, right? Well, I kind of joked. I'm like, actually, he hit his 1,000 feature wins, Bert, in Thunder Bay. Because he got an A feature. Yeah, he got an A feature win in the super stock and a B feature win in the modified. and yeah, then Chonga and everybody said, nope, that does not count. I'm like, well, all right, fair enough. So he went and got it done on his home turf. That was important to him. He wanted to get it done at Granite. That's where he
passed up an opportunity too.
Yeah. I mean, had he stayed up there, he very likely could have swept again in the super stock on night number 2
bonus.
and got that $5,000 kicker on top of it. But from what I understand, Buck Simmons, and they named off a couple drivers that maybe have eclipsed that 1,000 mark. But I mean, what's that?
Dick Trickle.
Dick Trickle they had on there. How astonishing is it for a driver, regardless of, because I've had people reaching out. There's a lot of haters and whatever. Oh, he doesn't race 8 cars. And blah. It's like the guy wins numerous specials with 40, 50 cars too. So, like, what are we talking about? I mean, how impressive is that, Bert?
I mean, oh, sorry.
It's definitely very impressive. I mean, I don't I don't care what the circumstances and situations are. I mean, if you win 1,000 features, I mean, that's definitely an accomplishment, and I mean, it's nothing that you should look down upon.
He's won every single invitational
Well, and I
multiple
mean,
times.
you can say that, well, he races 3 divisions, but he wins in all 3 divisions too. So I mean,
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, and then that's a great point. I mean, there isn't a track that I can think of that he's even remotely just not just okay at. He's good at every freaking racetrack. No matter who he's racing against, he can win in every class that he races in. It don't matter. I mean, he's I mean, and he isn't gonna just wow you because he's banging the boards and flying up there with making sparks and doing all. He's just he's good on equipment. He doesn't tear shit up. He doesn't make mistakes very often. And, he's got good equipment. Obviously, they know how to make race cars fast. And my God, I just don't even know how you can't have like you think back to when we were winning national championships. There was always, we'd go to Tri-Oval and it's like, God, what do we just, maybe we're close, but we don't have it here. We'd go to Ashland, we're close, but we're a second place car. Menominee, we were a second place car. Just how can you win at every freaking track against the best of the best in any invite? I mean, it's hat tip to him. I mean, it's something special. And hey, let's be honest, he's probably got another decade to go.
Well, I told him, I texted him. He said, I said 499 away from 1,500. He's like, whoa, back the boat up here a little bit. Like, let's relax on this just a little bit. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, realistically, could he hit 1,500? I mean, it's
Without a
not
doubt, if he keeps
unrealistic.
doing 3 cars.
Yeah, it's not unrealistic to think so. Now, how many? I mean, he's not very old, so I mean, he definitely could get it done. I don't know if he has any interest in racing that much longer, but why wouldn't you when you're on top and you have the situation that he does? But the other thing is, usually a guy wins that much, and people are like, that guy's a douchebag. He's a banger. Like everybody likes Shane Sabraski. Everybody. So that's even more astonishing, Bert, is when we were winning a bunch of races, we were ruffling some feathers, had to use a quarter panel once in a while, maybe folding up the right front. We weren't do what you have to do starting 12th every night. Sometimes you got to kind of hurt some feelings. That car, his car literally looks pristine every single night. Not that he hasn't gotten into people every now and then. It happens, but I mean, he's about the cleanest driver. I mean, he is really Wasoda's Mr. Smooth, right? I mean, the guy, he don't miss the mark. I was watching him run that super stock up there, and I'm like, everybody else overdriving entry and skating it in and all that. And that car, I looked at Jody Belfi. I'm like, he's just not very smooth. He's like, yeah, he missed his mark by like a half an inch last lap. I don't know what the hell he's doing out there. It's like the guy, I mean, it's just so consistent lap after lap. And he's not, here's what's crazy. I would be willing to bet that many, many times he doesn't post the fastest lap of the race. But I'd be willing to bet that his lap times are like within a tenth or two all the way throughout the entire race. Because he is just steady, steady, steady. And just super big congratulations to Shane Sabraski. I mean, he's had a hell of a career in racing. It ain't done yet. Big weekend this weekend. He's in a national championship battle, and gotta be honest, right? Gonna just be honest. I do not want him to win the mods. Just I don't, right? I mean, if he does, congratulations. But I gotta cheer for my boy Blake. Just is what it is. I'm gonna cheer for him. And if Shane wins it, hey, I like Shane too for sure. But he can go out and get the super stock. Give the kid a chance here in the modified. But she's going to be a big last couple of weeks. But again, huge congratulations to Shane Sabraski, his family, all of his sponsors, everybody that supports him. That's a hell of an accomplishment. And I tell you what, it's something to definitely be proud of for sure. So, Bert, am I going to see you this weekend?
You will not see me this weekend. I'm sorry.
My fucking feelings are hurt. Bert, I thought we were friends.
I know.
Don't you love? Are you cheating on us?
No.
Okay. All right.
You
All right.
guys are exclusive.
All right. And where you should be seeing me at, and Changa is not coming because obviously he's taking care of the better half that obviously usually takes care of him. So he's got to return the favor here a little bit. 50th annual Red Clay Classic, gentlemen. I'm jacked, right? And I'll be honest, Ashland was not my best track. Like Changa said, we got seconds there, we got thirds. That's one track I never won a feature at. Still a little bit bitter about that. Came close, but never got it done. But this, I talked to Eric Erickson, and as of like noon today, it is now Wednesday evening. They had over, I think they were at 220 pre-registered cars in 4 classes. So I think the record, I believe I read online, is 236. I have a feeling
We'll get that.
if you pre-registered 220, I would have to think that you'll eclipse that. At least I hope so, but it's going to be
The weather looks great from what I understand.
It does. So Ben Brost, my illegitimate brother, half brother there, Tom Nesbitt, illegitimate dad.
I was watching his podcast before we got on.
Yep, Dirt 2 Media does a great job. Him and I are going to do a collaboration. We're going to be live from.
Link me in. I want to be in. Link me in.
Yeah, we can maybe figure out a way to do that. I'll talk to see if we can do that. But we're going to be live from the ABC Raceway. We're gonna have a heck of a good time. Looking forward to that.
Show or something.
Probably do something like that. Yep. So we'll figure it out. We'll keep you in the loop. And then it all starts Thursday night. So Thursday night there's a big party. If you're coming into town early, head on over to the Neighborly Bar, okay? Because it's a big fundraising event, and that's where they raise money for the Bridesmaid Award on Championship Saturday night. And Bert, of course, you're familiar with that, right?
Yes.
So many times the second place driver has made more money than the winner. Now, the winners this year are making real big money, so I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. But head on over to the Neighborly. I'm going to be camping at the track over there in the fast lane area with Chris Bredding and I know Dennis McCauley's over in the area. So looking forward to that. Last year's results, just really quick. Late models, Shane Zabrowski, Kyle Peterlin, Dan Bargan are your top 3. Modifieds, Clayton Wagaman, Dave Kane, Al Utenin, your top 3. Super stocks, Shane Zabrowski, Steve Stewart, and SpaceX, Terrence SpaceX got 3rd. Midwest Mods, this one was I believe an underdog win. Mike Levins Sr., your winner night in the Midwest Mods. Joey Jensen 2nd and James Vendella got 3rd. So could it be a repeat? Could we see back-to-back? There's going to be a hell of a field of cars there, and I'm looking forward to it. I guess I'm not 100% sure where it's streamed. Have you seen where it's streamed? I don't know if
it's usually on Dirt Race Central for the Red Clay in the past.
I don't think it is. I think it's on XR.
Oh, well, then I'm definitely not even going to see it.
Unless it might be on both, because I know XR's. I guess I'm not positive. I really don't know. You have to look on.
Bert, at first blush, who do you think's the favorites to win?
Well, I have my picks. Are we going to give our picks for those races?
You can.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give my.
Bert. Who do you got?
I'm not gonna.
When we get to that segment, if you guys want, we can give our picks for the Red Clay if you happen to have them.
As long as it don't come up before 6 o'clock tomorrow.
It'll come up before 6 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, so then everybody else gets to hear what we're doing.
We ain't scared of anybody that's behind us, not even Rainman.
I'm not even sure I've made my decisions yet, but we can do it if you want. I don't care. I can flip the coin.
I feel, Bert, can you look up while I'm jabber John a little bit? Can you just look up to see if it's on XR or if it's on Dirt Race Central or if it happens to be on both? I know both of them are sponsoring something at the race, so it might very well be on both. I feel like I should know.
You got an XR account, don't you?
I do. Yeah, I
have to share
both.
that with me if that's where it's at.
Yeah, I have both. Now the fact of the matter is, you should be there. That's what You should be
Well,
at the race.
I would be if it wasn't for extenuating circumstances.
I know. So let's jump into while Bert's looking up where this is going to be streamed at. Let's talk studs and duds. Okay.
All right.
So before we do that, I want to give a shout out to our friend Brad Parson, Brad Parson Soil and Egg Solutions. So if you're over in Western Minnesota or the Dakotas, you're in farming, you know, this is harvest season, money making season. Well, if you want to make more money in 2026, maybe change it up a little bit in those spray packages. Give Brad a call, 320-219-3542, and get the data that he has. The proof's in the pudding. He's had big results. He's growing over there, leaps and bounds, and he's got a big track record, and he's a racer. You know, he has 2 late models for next year. He's going to get back into late models next year. So, you know, the fact is, go to people that support the racing industry, especially if it can help you put money in your pocket. That's Brad Parsons, Soil and Egg Solutions. So while he's looking at that, we'll start with the national scene on our studs and duds. So, Changa, we'll start with you. Give me your stud, give me your dud. What do you got?
Wow, I usually have to go first. This is intimidating almost, right?
Now you see what I go through.
I know, right? Bert's sweating. I can see it on his forehead there.
Bert, what did you find? Since you're back, what did you find?
It's on Dirt Race Central.
Dirt Race Central, which is, of course, the official streaming platform of Wissota Racing. So that does make a lot of sense. All right, Changa, we're gonna mix it up. You're first this time, then Bert, then me.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure, Bert. My heart's pumping. So my national stud this week, I went with Dason Pursley, right? So he tripled up at Eldora last week, winning the USAC AMSOIL National Sprint Car Series final on Saturday. Won the NOS Energy Drink National Midget race on Saturday, and the Silver Crown division as well. Tripling up in the USAC races at Eldora. He didn't fare all that well in the high limits. I think he had an 11th and an 18th last weekend, but just an incredible performance to triple up in them USAC races. So Dason Pursley's my stud of the week.
Hey, Bert, I don't want to mention any names, but we'll get to that. Somebody in our group mentioned that one of his bold predictions, he was going to go winless at Eldora. I don't remember who that was. Changa might remember, though.
You got to go bold. I'm going to go, and with my dud for the 92nd week in a row, I'm going to go Ryan Gustin. So, after his 19th, 8th, and 12th 2 weeks ago, he had a not so impressive 19th, 10th, and 24th this past week at Knoxville on his home turf. So, Ryan Gustin kind of on the struggle bus. He's had like 2 good runs in the last 2 months. So, that's where I'm going there.
Yeah, and he's so up and down. He's definitely
way more down than up lately.
Way more down than up. All right, Bert, studs and duds, national scene.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who was his dud? Who was Changa's dud?
Ryan Gustin.
Okay. Stud, I'm going with Aaron Reitzel. Got a win at Eldora, and I think another podium in the other race, and which is a good comeback for him after being injured at that track earlier this year. And for my dud, I'm going to go with Brad Sweet. He finished 6th and 9th, which isn't bad, but this is Brad Sweet. I mean, should be better than 6th and 9th. And these are his finishes since going back until August 28th. He got 6th and 9th last week. And then prior to that, a 5th, a 2nd, which is good. But then 12th, 10th, 10th, 19th, 13th, 17th. So I don't know if running high, the high limit series, if that's taking his focus off of his driving, but this was, how many outlaw championships did he win in a row? I mean,
and he was the king of top 5ing you to death, right? But now he's trying to top 15 you to death.
Right.
And then it's funny, if you listen to that Dale Jr. podcast last week with Rico and Tony Stewart, and you listened to Rico, I think, talked about it, about just how much effort that he puts into that series and how much it probably does take away from his race program. And obviously you just followed up on me having him on the dud list for like the last month, I mean, so it's kind of a Brad Sweet, Ryan Gustin thing back and forth. But yeah, it's he'll be all right. I mean, he's, if you, like Ryan said, a while, it's been a few months now, but when you were down with your dad watching them guys race live, I mean, it's noticeable when you watch the guy drive that he's noticeably better at driving a race car than most of them. He's going to get his, but yeah, I mean, lately it's just been tough to come by.
For sure, for sure. So I'm gonna give a shout out to old 10 time here. Donnie Schatz with a good weekend here this past weekend. He, now keep in mind he hasn't had a top 5 since August 8th, right? It's been over a month, and he's bouncing around different car. Now he's going to be in the Jason Sides ride here to close out the season. But 10th to 5th at Tulare this weekend. So solid run. And what do you got there, Bert?
No, he finished 5th. One of my bold predictions wasn't it? He wouldn't be in the top 5 for the rest of the year.
Yes, you did.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, there you go. So Uber's gonna have to get that one off the books there. Yes. We'll get to that one. Yeah, you did get nabbed there. So 10th to 5th. So good to see Donnie Schatz with a good weekend. He sure the heck needed one. I got to give a shout out, of course, to Huddy. Disaster to triumph, right? 2 terrible nights in a row. Then he comes back 15th to 1st to win the Knoxville Nationals. But I'm going to give my dud to the little guy. I'm going to give it to Rico. To my stud. Stud. Not to the dud. The stud. My stud is the little guy, Rico. 3rd to 2nd, 8th to 1st at Eldora. 72-point lead with 7 races to go in the high limit series for signing the deal with Tony Stewart Racing. But I'm telling you, Rico could be in position to lock up. I believe this would be his first ever National Touring Series championship. And he was really, really good last year. He's been good this year. And Brad Sweet's got his fair share of them already. I mean, it would be good for racing to have a new champion. And Rico has positioned himself very well to do just that. My dud, I had a couple different things here. I was just thinking late model events at Knoxville. I mean, you literally look at the crowd at the Knoxville Nationals for the sprint cars as compared to the late models. I mean, it's like apples to oranges. It's 2 totally different things. The late models are just not all that well received down in Knoxville. But
I mean, they still get a good crowd. I mean, it's, that place holds 1 billion people. So, I mean,
it does for sure. But as compared to the sprint cars, I mean, there's no question it's a sprint car town for sure. But how about, I'm going to give my dud to the injuries in 410 sprint car racing. One of the top Northeast guys, Anthony Macri, now out indefinitely with a fractured back, and I did talk to some crew guys on World of Outlaw teams, and I don't want to really get into the speculation because there's a lot of investigation here, and I don't need a company suing the show because we called them out, or whatever. But they feel like they might have something pinpointed what's causing some of these broken backs. And let's just say that sometimes safety equipment may not be all that safe. So I'm going to leave it at that, right? But I'll say this right now that there's been an uncanny amount of injuries. Yes, there's been broken ankles and wrists and feet, but broken backs this year in sprint cars, crazy number of them, which is really scary. Hopefully they get that figured out. We don't see any more of that. All right, let's jump into the local late model scene. And we want to stick with the same order here. You want to go Changa, Bert, me?
No, I want to keep going.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
So just going back to the last thing, I did want to give one shout out on the national tour deal. Billy Moyer clinched the points in that Comp Cam Super Dirt Series. So at 67 years old, Billy Moyer Sr. winning a regional series championship. So that's pretty impressive as well.
Absolutely.
On the local level, I mean, how do you go with anyone else as a stud other than Shane Zabrowski, right? you know, he looked like he had a shot to win on Saturday. He was up on the wheel and he was charging, and it looked like he was going to win. Then he just got the right front up over the berm and pushed up, got into the wall, fell back, ended up falling out of the race. But came back, redeemed himself on Sunday, got number 1,000, and at the same track as he won his first ever and his 500th. So beautiful thing.
There might be some drama there. There might be some drama. So Bert, so this happened at Granite City Motor Park, okay? They raced the Piston Cup this weekend. It was supposed to be Friday, Saturday. Friday rained out, they run Saturday, Sunday. Do you know when they announced that they were going to run late models? Friday. Okay. Now, I get it. So there's a mile radius rule, which I understand. It's there for a reason. I get it. Okay. It's 150 miles.
And they did it once Menominee canceled.
Yep. Granite is 148 miles from the Red Cedar Speedway. So we're talking 2 miles, right? And quite honestly, they're probably not going to take cars away from each other anyway, because the guys that would go to Granite wouldn't go there, vice versa, right? But they decided that once everything canceled on Friday, Menominee was a wash and Casino was a wash. He's like, screw it. Let's just run late models. And he did his work, and he called all the drivers and said, hey, if we run late models, will you come? If we run late models, will you come? And I don't know, he got 15, 20 cars, whatever it was, to show up. And but of course it was non-sanctioned, right?
Okay.
Because you couldn't have points, but in the contract, you can't run non-sanctioned during the WISSOTA season. So he's probably going to get, and he knew it. He's like, I'm probably going to get fined for this. Fully aware of it. He's like, but it ain't hurting nobody. Nobody gives a shit. So I don't know. Part of me is like, I kind of on both sides of this. Part of me is like, well, the rule's there for a reason to protect. But do you guys really have a problem with them racing late models, being that nobody else in the area was racing anyway? It didn't really affect anybody. Who gives a shit, right?
Right.
As long as it was not for national points, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, and as long as and especially since nobody else was running anyway.
Right.
You know, Menominee wasn't running, Casino wasn't running, so who gives a shit? Don't really matter. Okay, nobody cares. I'm sure he's probably going to get a letter from WISSOTA. I'm guessing, and he was aware of that. He's like, fuck it, I don't care. I'm gonna do whatever I do, and you know that's kind of the way he rolls. You know, just like I don't care. I'm gonna do what I do. So
well, now you said that you can't run unsanctioned during the WISSOTA season. What is the WISSOTA season?
it ends the
11th.
yeah the
Okay,
the 11th?
so they do have a specific
The Hot
date.
Dish Nationals is the
Okay.
last day, right?
No, yeah, the Hot Dish Nationals in Hibbing, and which is the same weekend as the Gopher State Showdown at Fergus. That is the last weekend. So you got this weekend the Red Clay, Madtown, Aberdeen. Next weekend would be the Viking Fall, or the Ogilvy Fall Classic, right? And then the following weekend would be Fergus and Hibbing. So you got 3 more weekends of WISSOTA racing. Yep. So who's your dud?
So I didn't even, there's no individual dud for me this week. I mean, all the guys that were supposed to win, Tyler Peterson's supposed to win, he wins. You know, Cole Searing's supposed to win. You know, Strand is kind of a dud because he drove all the way past Jamestown. But, you know, and this is nitpicking, and it's crazy. But back in the day when we were racing, Iron Rangers would go to Jamestown. How many of them went there this year?
None.
Not a one. You know, and I get it. Short time period. I mean, we found out on Friday that Granite was racing, but they raced Saturday, Sunday, right? Nobody from the range other than Provo. Nobody from Wisconsin other than Kanta, really. I mean, you know, there might have been another straggler or two, but I mean, none of the notable people that win a lot of races went anywhere.
Who's the second guy you said? Ripley?
Oh, no, I'm talking about late models.
Yeah. You said, who are the 2 drivers you said?
Provenzino went to Granite.
Yeah.
Kanta went to Granite. Other than them 2 guys, not much of anybody notable went anywhere.
Right.
From the Iron Range or, your Wisconsin, Cedar Lake, Menominee type area guys, you know?
Billy Kendall did. Billy Kendall went to Jamestown.
Okay.
So
Yep.
he'd be the one, but
He's
he
like
lived a lot.
Deerwood, right? But yeah, no, and he actually ran really well out there.
He did.
So,
He did.
yeah. So I guess I don't really have a dud, but if I was going to say that, it's just nobody's following invites anymore. Jamestown used to be a big deal. We would get a handful of the Iron Range cars would go there, and it just don't happen anymore.
Yeah, I think it was 5,000 a win too. But they got some rain on Friday. They had to run Saturday, Sunday, and she was a rodeo on Saturday because of the rain too. So maybe that played into it as well. The weather that could have been it. All right, Bert, who do you got stud and dud late models?
Well, there wasn't much going on in eastern Wisconsin. Dirt Kings raced at Plymouth Dirt Track. They got their heats in, but the features got rained out there. But I'm going to go with Mike Mullen as the stud because he is the Dirt Kings champion this year. He's the third driver to win a championship in that touring series. The caveat is that the two drivers who have won, other than Nick Avalink, have won during years when Nick hasn't raced when he hasn't followed the series. So take that for what it's worth.
Well, and Mike Mullen didn't even show up there this week, right? If they
No,
had gotten the show
no,
in,
he was there.
oh,
He was there. Yeah,
Okay.
he was there. And then for the dud, I'm gonna go with Mother Nature. Punky got rained out. The features got rained out at Plymouth Dirt Track. Just not a good weekend weather-wise.
Yeah, Casino rained out as well. So you kind of threw some shade there on my boy Dustin Strand driving past Jamestown to go with the big sky. Well, now keep in mind he only had 28 shows in, right? So he's trying to hit 30 so he can at least get a check in the national points. And he went out there. He got 6th to 2nd on night 1, 6th to 1st on night number 2. That sounds more like a stud than a dud to me. I got to be honest with you. And then Cole Searing made the trip a little closer for him. Of course, he got first night 1, second night 2. So they had a couple, the two top guys, from those areas that went out there finished 1, 2 both nights. Tyler Peterson, baby on the way, by the way. He's got another little one here coming. So, he's
stole that from me.
yeah, his focus is right there, but he actually went out to Jamestown Stampede and he parked it in Victory Lane. He passed Chad Becker to do it at the 54th annual Jamestown Stock Car Stampede. And he's got the national championship locked. I mean, I had, Josh texted me. He goes, "Does this clinch it for him?" I'm like, shit. He basically had it a month ago. Yeah, he basically had it clinched a month ago because of the 30 show deal. But I'm gonna give my actual stud of the week. I'm giving it to Billy Kendall. Billy Kendall's had a hell of a season. Yeah, I get it. He only got 30, started 16th though. 16th to 3rd at Jamestown out there. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of one of the newer guys in late model racing, and he has been extremely fast all year long. And just to see him do it in the postseason here, make a trip to a track that he doesn't race at very much, and see, I might have been his first time there. I guess I'm not positive, but hell of a run for the 99. Now, speaking of Jamestown, got to keep our thoughts and prayers, for Lane Schwer over there. So, Bert, I don't know if you saw. I did not see the incident because, in good taste, they took it down. They don't have the video up there. Like, we don't need to see this. He's in rough shape right now. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to get into medicals, but from my understanding, he's still in the hospital. Things are not looking real good for him medically, and I'm not going to get into all the details of what it is and what it might be or whatever. But from what I understand, the Sanborn, Minnesota driver had an absolute horrific crash out there in Jamestown, and one of the younger guys. And I see a lot on Facebook in the racing community. A lot of people shout out to Cody Papke, CRP Motorsport or CRP Photography. He's doing photos at Brown County. He's giving all the proceeds to the Schwer family. So bad deal, and man, get healed up. We don't like seeing people get injured in race cars for sure. My dud though, I'm sticking with this. They've been my dud a number of times this year in the late models. It's a combination of two things. The promoters that decided that it was okay to go from the best 30 shows to the best 20, or from the best 20 shows back to the best 30 shows and late models, you deserve a donkey award. Okay, Bert, how many Saturday night full-time late model tracks are there in Wissota, in Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota combined?
4?
1.
Hibbing.
Nope. It'd be Miller. Hibbing only ran them 10 times.
Yeah,
Ogilvy,
I'd call that for the time.
that's half. They only had them on about half their shows. Ogilvy has them about half. Devil's Lake runs about half, right?
Well,
Miller,
Wisconsin has 0, right?
Wisconsin has 0, right? You know, Friday nights, Wisconsin has 2. They're both on the same night. Hell, the state champion in late models in the state of Wisconsin got 12 shows.
That's all?
Yeah, they don't have 20. I think it's G.O.A.T is going to be the state champion.
Oh,
Yeah.
no shit.
Yeah, they don't have 20 shows, right? You know, so you got Sunday track proctors full time, right? There's no late model race. Dustin Strand literally just hit 30 shows. Now, here's the
Third
points.
Minnesota points.
Here's the points right now. Okay, the points right now is TPO's got like a 50-point lead over Chad Becker, and Strand is like, when all these shows come in, he'll probably be like 5th. Okay, but let me give you 2 scenarios. Okay, scenario number 1: if they just went back to the top 20 shows, right, like it was last year, Dustin Strand be your point leader with only 30 shows. He's 11:22. Tyler Peterson would be at 11:21. Chad Becker would be at 11:14.
We'd have a battle.
Ouch. Yeah, we'd have a hell of a battle here, right? That'd be fun. Now it's 50 points. TPO did what he had to do. He's deserving of the championship. He's a hell of a race car driver. He did what he had to do, right? But there's one more donkey award here, and this is to the South Dakota promoters, specifically the ones that happen to sit on the Wissota board, right? That think it's okay to have tri-state late model specials instead of having Wissota late model specials at their tracks, right? Because get this, if they went to your top 20 shows instead of 30, and the late model specials at Huron, Watertown, and Miller and Brown County, if those would have been Wissota shows instead of tri-state, Chad Becker would have a 7-point lead right now. Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Well,
if the queen had balls, she'd be the king, right? We heard it all. But
I think 25 is the right answer.
yeah, 30 is not for late models.
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
20 is light. I mean, 20 is really light.
Is it for late models?
In order to win a national championship, you have to put in the work. I mean, there has to be some work. You need to travel. You need to, outside of winning races, you need to put in the work to race a number of races to earn it, in my mind. I mean, Chris, we ran 90 shows to win national championships, and that's not freaking easy. That's
right.
Many of sleepless nights, and that's part of the sacrifice that goes into winning a national championship, and that's why I like the more shows. I just really do. Hey, travel. For Christ's sake, we would travel, I mean, late models got to travel a long way, but we were traveling for, 5 hours for 200 to win. We were losing money if we won.
But here's the deal, right? Let's play devil's advocate. It'd be a hell of a lot easier to get to 25, 30, 35 shows if your freaking promoters in your state weren't taking freaking shows away from you by sanctioning with a competing series.
And that's fair.
What the hell are they doing out there?
Obviously, that's bullshit.
And Todd Good seems to think, oh, this ain't hurting nobody. This ain't hurting nobody. It don't, we should be able to do this. The fuck you should, Todd. Like, what the fuck you think you're doing, right?
If we could find a way to co-sanction these races where everybody would win.
Absolutely.
Well,
Bert?
Why are these promoters running tri-state instead of Wissota?
They're running tri-state because they know the tri-state rules package is a better product.
Okay. So then Wissota needs to look at their rules package to get everybody on the same page.
Well,
you want to hear something even more stupid? Here's something more stupid for you, right? Todd Good is the freaking interim head of WISSOTA right? The teching, the rules committee. He's the interim head of that. Okay. He's one of the promoters that decided it'd be a good idea to have a tri-state race at his track because they have a better. They literally had 30 some cars for a tri-state race versus low 20s for a Challenge Series race. Okay. Yet he's opposed to going with the same rules package for WISSOTA that clearly makes more sense. The guy's talking out of both sides of his mouth. What the hell is he doing?
What the fuck sense does that even make?
It
What
makes
sense
no
does it
sense
even
at all.
make?
It makes no sense. If they went with the same, Cedar Lake has proven that it works. It's a couple little slight differences, but Cedar Lake has that. You can run open late model engine with a restrictor. Dirt Kings has that.
Yeah.
Tri-State has that. The model works. They tried it
you're
one
100%
time.
right.
Yep,
You're
they
100%
tried it
right.
one
You know,
time.
like even if you don't look at the tri-state, look at Cedar Lake, right? Look at the people that won there. I've seen in the last few years, I've seen Kevin Burdick win races there. I've seen guys that aren't on open motors win races at that place, right? I mean, it works. If you know, and you know, it might not always be perfect, but you can tweak it along the way. And you know, it's a process. And in the grand scheme of getting it right, eventually, we need to do something.
Imagine the WISSOTA 100 if they went to the tri-state rules package, right? Or some variants of that to make it close so where you could run an open motor with restrictors.
Chad Becker on the high side. Snowdrift looks to the inside.
Justin Zeitner, hell, they'd have 20 more late models at the WISSOTA 100. In fact, a lot of these WISSOTA specials, I would argue that the Red Clay Classic this week, they'd probably have 15 or 20 more cars also. So I wish WISSOTA would get on the same page, adjust that rules package, make it the same, and then they could take all those races out west instead of having it just a tri-state race, do a co-sanction deal. It can be tri-state and Challenge Series or any variation of anything. They just got to get on the same page. We can't be stuck on an island here forever. It's got to change. Let's jump into modifieds, boys.
Amen. Well, I got to start this though, don't I? Well, I like starting it out, right? Because then I get the pick of the crop. All right. My stud of the week. I mean, it's easy pick, right? It's the 40D one to go show, Blake Adams. Pressure's on, battling for a national championship. What's he do? He goes to Granite. He sweeps night one. He sweeps night two. We won't even talk about the B mod because that might be a conversation for later. But
Did you see what he did, Bert? Did you see what he did at Granite?
No.
He did the double-double. The double-double. He double swept in the Midwest mod and in the A mod.
Okay, so he had two huge sweeps in the A mod and neck for a national points championship against the best of the best, Shane Sabraski, 1,001 feature wins, right? So head to head with the 7A, he sweeps. Now it did help that he started on the front row every heat, every feature. I mean, but we're not going to talk about that. He flat out got it done under pressure, and that's a beautiful thing. So Blake Adams, what's he, 16 years old?
Yeah, 15 or I think he's 16.
16 years old, performing like that under pressure. I mean, that track was not easy. That first night, it was a freaking mess. It was rough, and he was digging the right front end, and I was waiting for him to roll a tire off the bead, and you know, he was having a little bit of a hard time getting that thing turned, but my God, he ended up getting her done. So congratulations, Blake. You were one hell of a stud this last weekend, and proud of you, buddy.
Granite City cannot catch a break. They can't get to break. Every time they have this invitational, it freaking rains every single year. And then people watch it and they're like, oh, the place is a shithole. It's rough. It's terrible. It's like, it freaking monsoon. They got an inch of rain the day before. What are you talking about? They had to cancel. So, but he pushes through, makes it work. They got the race in. Night one wasn't optimal. Night two was a hell of a lot better.
Night two was a hell of a lot better.
God, they can't catch a break over there with weather. It's super unfortunate.
And they worked their tails off to try to give them guys a racing surface they could race on. So props to them too. Hey, you guys, you did everything you could possibly do. So props to them for what they did there. My dud, I mean, and this isn't probably not even fair, but we'll give it to Shane Sabraski, right? He got to run 3 races last week. And he did really good. He got a 4th and 2/3. That ain't gonna get her done when the guy you're competing with is getting 2 sweeps, right? Just not gonna get her done. You got to find a way to win one there or something, right? So Shane Sabraski.
Pause. What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? What? You take all that shit back right now. Do not be putting Shane Sabraski on the frickin' dud week with 3 weeks to go racing against our boy for a natty. You know what happens. Recant that shit.
Brandon Kopp, you're the new dud.
All right.
You blew up a motor. You shouldn't be blowing up like that.
Absolutely. That's better. Shane Sabraski's a
Love
stud.
you, Brandon. Go win an ass.
Shane's a stud. We can't be giving him no free juju here, right? All right. Bert.
All right, the rest of mine are going to be based on Beaver Dam Raceway results last weekend. Unfortunately, that was probably the last race at that track unless something changes. If it's sold or something, but as of right now, it sounds like that's the last race that will ever be at Beaver Dam Raceway, which is unfortunate because it's a great facility there.
It is. It is.
But anyway, in the modified, I'm going with Brandon Schmidt. His hometown is Beaver Dam, and he pulled it into victory lane in the modified feature. Part of Friday's show got rained out, but they got all of Saturday's show in. So he won the feature in the modified. And then he also raced the stock car over the weekend and got 7th in the feature in the stock car. So getting a first though in the mod is a good way to end it at your hometown track, I guess. Dud Cole Zarneski finished 24th in the mod, did not finish. He also raced the stock car, finished 20th. He rolled the stock car. I'm not sure how bad it was, but his dad posted on Facebook within the next couple of days that he was looking to buy a stock car. So I guess you can read what you want into that.
It couldn't have been good. It couldn't have been good. My stud, I'm going north of the border. I'm going Curtis Stay. I'm going to call him the Team Canada Kelly Esty is what I'm going to call him. He's been good all year, right? We've watched about every single race from the Thunder City Speedway, and it seems like every single night he's 3rd, 4th, 5th. Like he's always kind of there, right? But at the end of the year, he started clipping off some really good runs. He went 17th to 3rd one night at the Northern Nationals at Superior. And then he started 7th on night 1 up at the Thunder City Speedway. And I literally was having flashbacks. So Kelly Esty on the bottom, he would roll in on the tires and he would make that car turn like I've never seen a car turn in my entire life, right around the bottom. And he would drag race down the straightaway like John Force forward traction. And he was perfect on the bottom and drove by some good cars to win. Got 5th on night 2, not quite as good, but hell of a good season. But he didn't win a feature in the modified until the last regular season race up there. And then he capped it off by winning their hometown invitational. So a great weekend there for Curtis Day. Had an opportunity to meet him. Super nice kid. Met some of his crew there. Had a good time talking to them guys. Also got to give a shout out to Jody B. Alphabet. Jody Belfi, night number 2, hell of a race. Him and Cole Chernosky put on an absolute show. And he got by Chernosky late, drove off to win, and he was pretty pumped about that. He loves going north of the border. My dud, I'm going to stick with Canada up here. So Dandy Don Ishins, John Topazzini. Okay. Now, I don't know this. I could not confirm. I will say this. Don Ishins was not there night 2. Okay. John Topazzini did not race night 2. Okay. Don Ishins, I didn't see the incident on the track. Needless to say, he was not happy with, I think it's Jeff Davis in the A-Mod. He flat out monster trucked him in the infield, and that was that. He didn't race the next night. So my guess is they said that's enough. You can go home now. I'm not really sure, right? John Topazzini, he was unhappy, kind of had an episode in the pit, kind of spinning around, and they said, you don't need to race night 2 either. Family friendly up there in Canada, right? You know, Minnesota nice north of the border. These two here, not.
That's so nice.
Yeah, not so nice. So, and I get it, right? I mean, we all know that emotions run high when you're racing. It's just part of it, but I got to give them two a little shit. Points battles right now. You talked about Blake Adams taking the point lead. 1651 for Blake Adams. He's got 3 point shows to throw out. Okay. Shane Sabraski, 1645. 6 points back, but he has a 51, a 52, and 553s.
Ouch. All right. So it's
So-
anybody's game.
So Shane is going this weekend. He's going to go to the Red Clay Classic, all three cars.
100% Blake's going to Madison.
Blake is going to Madison. His focus 1000% is I'm going there. I am natty hunting right now. I'm going there to try to lock down a couple wins, and good luck to both of them drivers this weekend. All right. I know Bert doesn't have one here, but Chonga does. Super stocks here. But first, a shout out to Fast Lane. Chonga froze up for a minute, but he's back.
There he
You
is.
guys froze up and I was moving on my screen.
Yeah,
No,
but
you
Fast
froze up
Lane-
on us.
He froze up on ours. Fast Lane Motorsports and Powder Coating up in Ashland, Wisconsin. Of course, we mentioned it already. 50th annual Red Clay Classic at the ABC Raceway in Ashland this weekend. The Fast Lane Motorsports truck will be there. I'm sure they'll have the store open if you need anything, but you know, they do it all. They build the Galloper chassis. They do custom fabricating, powder coating, sandblasting. They sell every part that you can imagine for a race car. And if they don't have it in stock, they can certainly get it. But great group of people up there in Ashland. Fast Lane Motorsports and Powder Coating. Let Chris know you heard about it here on the One to Go show. So your stud and your dud in the super stocks there. And I will say this, Bert, Chonga and I 1000% have the same dud because there's
Only one dud.
There's only one. So give me your stud.
My stud for this week is going to be Jeremy Muirhofer. All right. Out at Big Sky, he won the first night out there from 10th, right? And then the second night, he won from 7th. So double swept out, or I don't know that he double swept, but he won both nights out in Big Sky. So Jeremy Muirhofer, my stud of the week.
He's a hell of a race car driver, man. I'm telling you, if that kid would race like a full season, he wins a shitload of races for as little as he races. I mean, I've seen him race. Very talented driver that races on a very limited schedule.
And then my dud of the week. Hello.
Here, we'll pause on that. We'll come back.
Hello.
We'll come back.
Hello?
We'll come back to that because we got some shit to say. I got a shout out here. I'm going to give a shout out DK9, Dylan Kromschroeder. Remember, he just outside the top 3. He cracked into the top 5, finished 4th at the Wissota 100 a week back. Goes to Granite this week. He gets first on night number 1. He kept Sabraski behind him. Sabraski ends up flipping a tire on the first feature there, trying to get by him, but DK9 was holding him off. Ran a hell of a race, then he got 3rd on night number 2. So Dylan Kromschroeder putting together a very nice postseason here. Shane Sabraski, he's all world. He's elite. Thunder Bay, I mean, he just looked unbelievable in that feature the first night, and then he won night number 2 at Granite, and he took over the Wissota Superstock national point lead in doing so. But I'm gonna give my stud of the week to old Sasquatch, Timmy Johnson. Bert, there's not many people that can just not race for a couple months and just hop in a car they've literally never been in, and holy shit, they're just fast out of the gate immediately. Tim Johnson's like a very talented race car driver. I've seen him get in absolute things that probably most people wouldn't even think about winning in, and he finds a way to get him to the front. And he ran a very unique line on night number 2, just weird. He got 4th on night number 1. He was running second most of the race, but the unique line kind of faded at the end. He got pinched in lap traffic, fell back to 4th, but he did win on night number 2, and that was another one. You could take a blanket, you could have put it over the top 3. Him, Chernovsky, Kyle Kopp put on and Dylan Nelson was in the mix there. A hell of a show there at the Thunder City Speedway. And Chonga, all these years, right? Like a couple of years back, his kid's racing a super. I'm like, his kid? I didn't even fucking know he had a kid.
Right.
Like, literally, I had no idea that he had kids. No clue, right? First time I got to meet his wife up there in Thunder Bay. So that was kind of cool. Super nice. We've chatted for a while. So all these years racing against Tim Johnson, right? Finally met his wife up there, his much better half, by the way. So super nice meeting her. But stud of the week, Timmy Johnson, hell of a race car driver. He's another guy that's got north of 500 feature wins. I don't know exactly the number, but he's got a bunch. But our dud of the week, Bert, and it ain't close. Go ahead, Changa.
Well, as I was saying a little bit ago, hello, where the fuck are you? Right? Kurt Myers, where are you? He had 2 or 3 opportunities to race last weekend. I know he wanted to go to Red Cedar. That's his closest track. But where the fuck are you? I don't get how you can chase all season. You're out in Aberdeen one week. You're everywhere. You're all over the freaking map. You're up in Thunder Bay. How in the fuck do you have a national point lead and then you just, the end of the year, just don't race? He skipped out on that race at Superior. There's been opportunities for him to race. And excuse me if something's going on. Maybe his health is bad. Maybe something's going on at home. I apologize if that's the case. But my God, you work your balls off all season, travel all over the map to win a national championship, and then you just don't freaking race when it matters. I mean, you're in Superior, you win, and then go home because Shane's not racing. You go to the 100, you win a prelim night for points. Yeah, great. You take the point lead back. And then now this weekend, you let Shane race 3 races and you just eat potato chips on the couch and smoke cigarettes. I don't know. What's it all about? I just don't know. It's not that far to Granite City, right? You could have gone there and at least ran them 2 shows.
It makes no sense because he actually made it known that, yeah, I'm going to run the red clay and then that's it. Of course, he's retiring at the end of the year, going to help the kid. But he was leading national points coming into the weekend. He's leading the points, right? Now he's 1 point out of first. He's going to go to Ashland and call it quits. Changa, this ain't the first time he did this. A few years back, he's in a 3-way battle with Timmy Johnson and Dave Moss. They're essentially tied going into the last night at Fountain City. And he was there night 1, and they both beat him on night 1. And he had an opportunity to go there, win night 2. You win the national championship. Fuck it. I'm not going to go. I have no time for quitters. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? I would never buy a car from him. Like, the guy's got the wrong mindset. I don't understand him. I really just don't get it. Like you said, you race all year long, positioning yourself to win a national championship. And trust me when I say this, 10 years removed, when you're not racing anymore, that's all you got to look back on. And he will at some point look back and regret some of these dumbass decisions he's made of at least not trying to win it. Okay, I'm not going to say he would win it, but at least give it a try, right? But now he's got a built-in excuse. Well, I probably would have won it, but I just decided to race. Well, that's bullshit. I just do not understand it. It's flabbergasting. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Congratulations, Shane Sabraski, 2025 Minnesota Superstock National Championship, because he is a racer. He ain't going to give up and quit. And like you said, if there's something more that we don't know, hey, we apologize, but I don't believe that to be the case. I just don't understand him.
And let's be honest. I mean, there's health. There's also financial implication, children implications, things that are bigger than racing, right? So if any of them things are there, I mean, then shame on me for being the douchebag that's calling him out. But my God, I mean, this guy, he worked his balls off, and it pains me to see it happen this way. I mean, I wanted to see him go out and compete and see the best man win, and we will never know because he's not even competing.
Yeah, and he's a good driver. He very well.
Oh yeah, he is.
He is one of the favorites to win the Red Clay Classic this weekend, without question. He can win that race. He's very good. He's very good at Ashley. He can win that race. And then next week, yeah, maybe Ogilvy's not his best track, but the guy's won a lot of races everywhere. He could win that, and then the following
you better
week,
fucking be there. If you win this week and take the point lead back, you better be there.
And he could go to Hibbing the following week, right? And cap off his season in Hibbing, and he's ran good there too. I just don't know.
Let's be honest, he could win anywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, and we'll put it even to another level that nobody wants to even know that's a thing in racing, right? If you get the point lead, you don't necessarily have to go there and win.
That's 100% true. You just got to make dang sure the other guy doesn't.
That's right.
that's That is a fact, Jack. That is because it's your best 30 shows, and it don't matter if that guy got his tires speared, ran off the track, rolled over, or you literally just ran him high and knocked him back to 10th. It don't
Right?
matter. That's it, right? I mean, so it is what it is. But yeah, I don't understand it for the life of me. And as a fan of racing, it's disappointing because I love the points battles at the end of the year. But when one person just throws the white flag, gives up, says I don't want to play anymore. I mean, I don't know.
You know, that's 100% true. Like studs and duds for the last month is just point battle people, right? Because I don't, you know, yeah, everybody matters, and a great performance is a great performance, but people that perform under pressure in a national point battle, it's very difficult. You know, I talked to Tyler Vernon today, and it was like, he's like, any advice you can give me? You've been in this situation many a times. I'm like, yeah, you know, so it's tough. It's tough to win one. Well, Kurt Myers won a bunch of these. Shane Sabraski's won a bunch of these. These guys know how to do this. I'm just I'm just disappointed that they're both not giving it their all, right?
1000%. So let's jump into Midwest mods.
Oh, you want me? All right.
Sure.
Well, I guess Bert didn't have one of the super stock guys. Okay.
Yep.
So Midwest mods, I guess I got to go with Tyler Vernon in there. You know, obviously Blake Adams could be the guy, but Tyler Vernon, there again, right? Pressure on him. He goes up to Thunder City. Huge car count, had a whole bunch of pressure on him, right? He, he had a huge sweep up there, won from 10th on Friday, right? Then he followed it up with a solid third place on Saturday. He was actually, I was actually a little surprised he didn't go to Granite on Sunday, but
I think he didn't go to Granite because he saw that they got some rain. The track was rodeo on
and
Saturday.
that might be true. But you know what? He can thank Blake Adams for doing his part to keep Joey behind him all weekend. I right now I believe, if my math is right, Vernon's got a 1 point lead in the national points.
That's what I have.
All right.
Yep. How about so I'll talk a little bit more about Vernon. So the word
Well,
commitment.
I can do my dud, or do you want to keep going there?
Well, we'll just talk about Vernon for a second, right? The word commitment, okay, is doing what you said you would do long after the mood you said it in has passed. That's commitment, okay? Does Tyler Vernon want to chase all over God's creation at the end of the year to win a natty? It's a grind. No. Maybe not, but he's going to anyway. He will anyway because he wants to win. Exact opposite of what Kurt Myers is doing. I want to win a natty. Well, it's getting hard now. I don't want to do it anymore. There's a difference there. Tyler Vernon's committed. No, and I get it. Maybe part of it's like, hey, this is his first shot at a national championship. Myers been there, done that. I get it, but when you're that dang close to winning one, I don't understand giving up like one driver's doing. But Tyler Vernon is committed to trying to win the national championship, and that was a hell of a run he had that night.
I mean, and let's be honest, right? What it would cost Kurt to go race all over the freaking country to win the natty is probably more than what it pays to win the natty.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, when it's all said and done,
it's pride. It's pride.
It is 1000%.
So we're all egomaniacs in this game, and if you're not, it's time to hang it up, and that's why he's doing it.
Exactly. Who's your dud?
Well, and we talked about this, so you can elaborate on this a little bit, but my dud's going to be Jamie Davis, right? This guy gets a dud and a donkey award from me. Okay, I've never done a donkey award, so first time, Jamie Davis. Sorry I had to do this. He had a nice 17th to 7th run on Friday, right? Saturday, he goes out there, wins his heat from 8th, starts 8th, wins his heat, starting on the pole for the feature, right? Goes out, wins the feature, forgets to go to tech. Now, I get it. I understand there's some, the tech's in the middle, but I mean, let's be honest, all right? Everybody knows if you win a race, you got to freaking go to tech, right? It's freaking unreal. How do you not go to tech after you win the feature, right? The biggest invite at your home track, and you forget to go to tech after winning it. That's a donkey award and a dud for me.
Well, it's not his home track. His home track's Emo, right?
Yeah,
But
fair enough. Fair.
north of the border. But there's two parts to this, right? 1,000%. It's on him. Every other driver all weekend long, remember to go to tech. He did not. That's an automatic DQ, regardless of what they did or did not tech. That's immaterial, right? I will say this in his defense a little bit is they have to pull out of the infield, go through the gate, right, to go back to their trailer. So they have to go by an official that's standing there. And I get it, right? It's his own fault. You forgot to go to tech. This is on you. But in the same boat, the official maybe could have just said, hey, you forgot to go to tech. Just spin back around. You're not even off the track yet. Just go back down there.
We had the same conversation 2 months ago about a race at Cedar Lake where someone drove off the track. No. And I said, well, maybe the official should be pointing them to the scale. No, fuck that. You told me then that was retarded. You're a fucking moron for even suggesting that. So, I mean, let's play this both. You know, you can't play both sides of the fence one way or the other.
Yeah. Drivers, if you forget to go to tech, you're getting a donkey award. It just is what it is. All right.
These ain't people that have never been to tech before.
He's been racing for 20 years, right?
Right.
I mean, he knows better for sure. Bert, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with Stud Coy Vlies. He won the feature in the Sport Mod division at Beaver Dam Raceway last weekend. It was his 10th win of the year. Very good year for him. Dud, this is kind of like Changa earlier, kind of nitpicking here. I'm gonna go with because I really couldn't find anybody. So sorry, Elijah. Elijah Koenig. He finished sixth in the feature at Beaver Dam. He's from Beaver Dam, so Beaver Dam is his home track, and I'm sure that he would have liked to have finished better than sixth. But he's raced a limited schedule this year, and he doesn't have any feature wins this year. But and you know he's a really good driver. So like I said, I'm kind of being nitpicky, but that's who I got.
You know, my stud, I'm going to go Ashley Boyum. Okay. A lot of people know her as Ashley Merworth. Of course, she's married now to Wyatt Boyum, so it's Ashley Boyum now. But they made the trip over from International Falls, Minnesota to the Thunder City Speedway. Night number one, second place to Tyler Vernon. That's a hell of a run. 60 Midwest mods up there. So for her to get second place in the feature, night number one, that's a hell of a run. Night number two, second place in the feature behind Jamie Davis. Well, that worked out pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Because she got the big trophy because she got the win. And I went down to visit with her and Wyatt, and she's like, I didn't want to win it like this. This is kind of, I just feel stupid. I'm like, my first ever career win, Brian Strand forgot or did not go to tech, got DQ'd for it. That's how I got my first ever win. It happens. She had to be in position. Even if she did not win night number two, to get second both nights at that special with 60 cars, hell of a weekend. Now, you guys remember last weekend they crashed their hauler on the way to the Wissota 100. Remember that? And she showed me pictures, guys. She had a knot on her forehead, looked like a freaking baseball. Like it was stuck out. They looked like it was an inch. Like it was just bam, right? I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, did you get a concussion? And she's like, no. And Wyatt's over nodding his head. Oh yeah, she did. Yeah, 100%. She was sick. I guess she was like puking or whatever on Friday before the races, and like had headaches all week long. I mean, I've had concussions. It's no joke, right? But to go from that, having a concussion, overcoming that, and then still go out there and get a second and a first, congratulations on a job well done. She was really, really fun to watch up there. In fact, she was her car was a little bit better than Vernon's on night number one also. But Vernon just navigated lap traffic better than she did. But she was good on night number one, too. My dud, though, I'm going to go with Wissota Rules Makers. Okay. Another stupid ass Wissota rule cost a driver a win. So Ryan, I believe it's Ost. I'm not sure how to say that. 24X. He won the 54th annual Jamestown Stock Car Stampede in the Midwest Mod. To the best of my knowledge, looking at my race pass, I think he only has 3 career Midwest Mod wins. And then he wins this one, big one, right? So he gets DQ'd in post-race tech. The Nightmare Lucas Rodin, he gets the victory. Congratulations to Lucas Rodin. What he got DQ'd though for is they have a rule, okay, that when you jack up the left rear of the car, so you have the chain limiter on the left rear, okay, and then you have the obviously the shock. So if you take away the chain, the limiter is the shock. Fair enough, okay?
Yep.
Well, if you have your chain tightened down, right, and they disconnect the shock, if it extends more than a half inch, you're illegal. Okay. Now that they're limiting the travel. They were limiting the travel, not letting it travel more. Now keep in mind, okay, all of these cars have adjustable shock mounts and adjustable limiter mounts. You can make them do whatever you want. If you want more travel, you can change the shock mount and change the chain. It's a meaningless, stupid ass rule that means absolutely nothing. It's complete bullshit. It's nonsense. It has to go away. It's unnecessary. I get it, right? At this time, it is still a rule. He owned it on social media. He's like, I just overlooked it. My bad. According to the rule, I have no issue with the DQ, right? And he put a nice post out. He's like, it is what it is. Like, I messed up. I feel stupid, but it's a dumbass rule. It's unnecessary. Just get rid of it. Okay. So that's going to be my dud of the week. The national points, though, to the best of my math here, Tyler Vernon 1 point up on Joey Jensen. Both of them will be at the Red Clay Classic this weekend. That's going to be an epic showdown right there. All right. Stock cars or street stocks? Changa, street stocks.
So for my street stock stud this week, I went with Hunter Carter. He got his second win of the year this week. Best in a strong field of cars out at Jamestown there at the Stock Car Stampede. So Hunter Carter is going to be my stud.
Got any duds?
My dud's going to be Cole Grasseth, right? I mean, this guy just hates when I pick him. I flat out, just every time I pick him, he wins every time I don't pick him. But if I pick him, the guy just sucks, right?
Why
so
are you dinking him? Do you hate him?
I don't know. So he goes out there, starts fifth, gets a solid fourth in his heat race. Then he starts 13th in the feature, ends up with a 26th place DNF. Not sure. I mean, I didn't get a chance to see that. I was watching some other thing. He was probably 13th to the freaking lead before he broke. I don't know that answer because I did not get to see it. But God damn, every time I pick him, he lets me down, and every time I don't pick him, he wins. So, yeah, Cole Grasseth, you're my dud this week. Sorry, buddy.
Changa had that puzzle frozen look like that's classic for the YouTube audience.
Sorry. I
The
didn't mean it.
the sound kept coming out though.
It did.
Fair
It
enough.
did.
That's all we need, right?
Bird.
First, I'm going to go with the shout out to Rod Schnellenberger. He won the feature at Beaver Dam Raceway last week in the stock car division. And the week before that, he made the trip to Deer Creek for that USRA race and he finished 15th. So, I mean, made the show and was respectable. But my stud of the week, and I apologize if I mispronounce this last name here, is Dale Kruziger. He raced both a stock car and a street stock last weekend at Beaver Dam Raceway. Friday night, he won his heat in both divisions. And then Saturday, he finished first in the street stock feature and third in the stock car feature. So, very good weekend for him. And for dud of the week, I'm going to go with Jesse Cron. He's from Beaver Dam, so this was home track. He finished 14th in the feature, and he doesn't have any wins this year. He's racing a stock car now. He raced street stocks. This is either a second or third year racing stock cars, so he's still learning the division. He's a good driver. He'll get the hang of it, but going with the dud of the week. And unfortunately, well, I believe there's one more race in eastern Wisconsin this year, and that's next week this coming weekend at 141 Speedway. So these guys that are duds don't have a lot of opportunities to rectify themselves, because we usually turn their luck around when we put them on this list. So
Maybe we should be picking that one.
well, actually, Thursday night, I don't know the rules to this and I don't know the specifics. But asphalt late models and dirt late models are going to be racing against each other at 141 Speedway.
Really?
On dirt. Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
That'll be interesting enough to see how that works out. Okay. All right. So my hot, I'm gonna go my stud here, Levi Rant. So the 15-year-old made the trip up to the Thunder City Speedway. Now, keep in mind, they ran heats one day, features the next, and that kept Hess away, that kept Brower away. They decided to not go that direction, right? The street stocks did not get a good track. They just did not, right? They ran first the first night, and it was one lane on the bottom, all marbles. It was not good. It cleaned up. The track got really good late, and then in their feature, they went out and they farmed the bottom of 3 and 4, and it was like one lane on the bottom, and just it was they had a tough time passing, but that Kyle Bolt was leading, and Levi Rant was it was impressive. 15-year-old kid, watching him change his line and really trying to figure out like where can I position myself. Like he was in that stocking mode and he was running the bottom, the middle, the top, and then diamonding it and doing everything he had. And then finally at the end of the race, he was banging it into 1 and 2 on the top, and he was coming down the hill like literally a lane off the outside of Kyle Bolt. And then he was coming down into 3, and it was 1 lane on the bottom, but he was tippy-toeing right next to him on the outside of him. And the car control that 15-year-old kid had, I'm telling you what, I was absolutely impressed. My first time watching him race in person, absolutely was not disappointed. This kid has a super bright future. His brother's good too, but Levi Rant has mega car control. Congratulations to him on winning the Dirt Track Nationals up at the Thunder City Speedway. My dad's going to be Colton Brower. Okay, not that he clinched the national championship. It's done, but he just, when you win the Natty, there's something about going through the postseason and rattling off some money wins at the end of the year, and he just has not really put together a good September. He just has not had a good September. So we'll see if he can turn that around this weekend. I'm assuming he's going to be at Lou's Madtown Showdown over in Madison. I'm assuming that's where he'll be. I'm guessing he'll be at Ogilvie the following week and probably Fergus Falls to wrap things up. Boy, it'd be nice to see Colton Brower put an exclamation point on a championship season by winning at least one of those invitationals to close out the year.
Wouldn't be shocked if he truly, in fact, has it clinched. If we saw him maybe go run some USRA stuff and say the hell with it, this is done and over. I don't have, kind of like we talked about last week with that MPH deal. I don't want to go there and have some bullshit deal disqualify me. Why even freaking race? If you got it clinched, why even race? Just go run your USRA thing, especially if that's what you're going to do next year. Might as well go do that.
Well, I mean, it's nice to run the specials at the end of the year, and he enjoys racing with these guys. So Madison is kind of
that's one of his best tracks,
and it's the premier street stock invitational. That's where pretty much all the streeters will be, and then the fall classic at Ogilvie, they'll all be there. So I mean, he's a
lot of fun with all the guys. I get it.
Yeah, and he's a competitor. The points he's got a 21-point lead over Gresseth. But Bert, objects in mirror are closer than they appear. Okay? Because Hess is in 3rd. You guys know who 4th place is right now? Kyle Dykoff. Limited schedule. He just eclipsed 30 shows just a little bit ago. He's only 12 points out of 30. He's got a 49 351s. If he rattles off a couple wins this weekend in Madison and he goes out and he gets a couple 57s, that would be 8, 6, 14. That would put him into 3rd. That would put him in 3rd. And remember, the season ends at his home track at Fergus. So
will he even be there in Madison?
I would assume that he's going to be at Madison. He typically goes to that race, and I would be willing.
That?
What's that?
We going to pick that?
We are going to pick that. Yeah. Yeah. We are going to pick that. I would assume that he's going to race all of them at the end here, because he has a legitimate chance to get 2nd in national points running the limited schedule that he did. So Kyle Dykoff is coming.
Imagine if Dykoff and Gullickson and them guys just ran 45 shows.
Right?
Right?
It would have been definitely.
Both of them guys are like close to 50% winning percentage.
Right. Correct. Grassroots. Bert, you got anything on Grassroots?
No.
Changa.
Well, I guess I got a shout out for Dustin Holquist. I mean, he just did what he needed to do this weekend. But my stud's going to be Tony Jensen. Has been like so many weeks this year. Um, Won his fourth straight feature, 12th out of his last 13. 12 out of 13, four in a row. Um, that's how you close out a national championship. I mean, straight up right there, what that kid did. And I don't know him. Don't even know if he's the kid.
Anyone the MPH. It's Dustin,
Yeah, yeah.
son-in-law.
Yep. All I can say is you win 12 out of your last 13, four in a row down the stretch when you were like deadlocked or even behind for a national championship. You pull that off, that's how you win a national championship. You don't get any more studly than that. So Tony Jensen, you're my stud of the week for sure. My dud's going to be Dean Larson, right? I mean, a month ago, we maybe thought he probably had a very, very, say 80% chance of winning this national championship. And this weekend, he got a solid eighth on Saturday, and then he got DQ'd on Sunday. He's pretty much just showing how not to win a national championship while Dustin Holquist goes out there and wins two in a row. So, Dean Larson, you're my dud of the week.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out to Austin Carlson for winning the Paul Bunyan Stampede up in Bemidji. He's put together. He's probably gonna get fourth in the national title race in the pure stock division. He's put together a heck of a season up there. Him and his brother both actually. A lot of history in northern Minnesota. Of course, Grandpa raced. Ted Carlson, their dad Tim Carlson raced. He's a Wissota president, by the way. And then Austin and Dalton Carlson have put together really good seasons. Congrats to him. Dustin Holquist, though. His two wins have now catapulted him to a 4-point lead. To the best of my knowledge here, it looks like he's at 11:03, and it looks like Dean Larson's at 10:99. 4-point lead here in the Mod 4s. Big weekend this past weekend for Dustin Holquist. My dud, though, is going to be Jeff Roner, another Where's Waldo, right?
Right.
He's right there. I mean, he's literally 8 points back right now of first place, and he hasn't raced in a month. He hasn't raced since before the MPH. I don't know what the guy's doing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't understand. So I don't know if he's in. I think he'll probably be in Madison. That's kind of where he typically runs. But boy, the point battles right now. Dustin Puffy has clinched it in the pure stock. That deal's over. In the Mod 4s, it's a 4-point battle between Holmquist and Dean Larson. In the Hornets, though, it's kind of a 3-dog fight right now. In the driver's seat, Tony Jensen, who's been absolutely on fire. 11-14, kicking out 55s. Roner's at 11:06. He's got 54s to throw out. Third place, though, right now, still mathematically in this thing, right? With a good weekend at Madison, if he's going. I assume he's going down there. But Brady Faso at 10.99. He's 15 points back. He's got 53s he's chucking. And they got Madison, Ogilvy, and then Hibbing. So there's still enough races to go.
Wow.
Mathematically, he has to be perfect. But it's definitely tight.
Will a Hornet go all the way to Madison? I mean, that's the question.
I don't know. I mean, I should have reached out to him because I don't know if he's going to go down there or not. I feel like he wants to go to the Red Clay because that's such a big show to go to. But that
no doubt in my mind, if he comes back next year, he might be the favorite.
For sure.
He has absolutely, from the beginning of the year to now, he has set a mark as that guy to beat.
Yeah, he's put together a hell of a season for sure. So I'm going to give a shout out here, East Central Sports in Rush City, Minnesota, right off I-35, north of the Twin Cities there. They are your number one source for pit bikes, kids ATVs, golf carts, Toro, lawnmowers, and a whole lot more. They got some pretty pimpin' stuff over there. Of course, Mac, when he does it, he likes to do it big. He likes to be flashy. They got really badass looking stuff, as you saw when we were at Cedar Lake. Let them know that you heard about East Central Sports on the One to Go show for $100 discount. And you can reach them at 320-358-1994 or check them out online at www.eastcentralsports.com. All right, let's jump into some natty trivia. Last week, Changa gave the clues, and the driver was the hot shoe, Chad Becker. I got that. I got I'm ahead 9-4-1.
Yeah, this is a blowout. We should quit doing this.
No, this is kind of fun. I like winning. Bert's kind of
Bert-
struggling here a little bit, but
Bert,
you steal one.
you should be texting me who it is.
You stole a few from me, but we've picked David Karst. We've had Mitch Johnson, Adam Hansel, Troy Kuyoff, Tyler Peterson, Tim McMahon, Chuck Swenson, Brittany Smith, Travis Sauer, Don Eichens, Lance Matthews, John Seitz, Paul Arlstead, and Chad Becker. Those are the drivers we chose. Bert's going to give the clues this week. The loser gives the clues. 3 wrong guesses. The other person wins. Bert, what do you got?
All right. Bert saw this driver race at Shawano Speedway one time. This driver started racing in 1979.
Oof.
This driver won a 10,000 to win show in Arizona, and the car owner left the money bag with the winnings on the counter at a gas station, and they left the gas station. They eventually did get the money back.
Wow.
Early in this drive, I don't know how many years into his career, but early in this driver's career, he won 37 features in 1 year. This driver has 72 feature wins at Princeton Speedway.
Jones.
What did you say?
Ron Jones.
Yes.
Boom. Them were some good clues that you gave there. But as soon as you said that many feature wins at Princeton, and I should have known 10,000 to win down in Arizona because he traveled all over the place. Did not know that he went over to Shawano. What else did you have for clues there about Ron Jones?
This driver, at one time, this driver considered pavement and ASA racing. This driver believes he's won between 500 and 600 features in his career. This driver has won big paying races all across the country. And if you guys wouldn't have gotten it by then, I would have been disappointed. But this driver was one of the first Wissota area drivers to make a living racing.
Yeah, 5-time natty, drove for my dad, Bert.
You know what else? You know, he was number 7, but he was also number 31, just like me.
Yep, he was number 31. He was number 71, right? He was number 69. He drove the Leinenkugel Super Stock there for a year. Yeah, Ron, he rolled over at the Chuck Helmer and Proctor, Bert, and on the first lap and went on to win the feature in the Super Stock in my dad's car after rolling over.
You know what? So the Chuck Helmer, a guy I work with, Chuck Helmer was like his grandfather or something. So
oh, really?
That's pretty cool. I actually got to see someone that I met at the Carleton County Fair last summer had Chuck Helmer's car restored and pictures of it that he was sending me. So that was really cool.
Nice.
But yeah, I saw him race one time at Shawano Speedway. It was a special in October at Shawano, and I don't know if it was a sanctioned special or an open show, but it was a modified show, and they raced on Friday night, Saturday night, and unfortunately the feature got started, but then the rain came and it got rained out. But was there a Tim Donlinger?
Yeah,
He was there.
Yep.
He was there racing. So it was more of the open type late modifieds that were racing there.
Yeah, Ron Jones was 46 too. Remember the late model 46 and Steve Larson, Lance Matthews?
Yeah. A lot of guys ran that car. Yeah.
Yeah, Ron Jones is definitely one of the best to ever strap in for sure. So our pick'ems last week, Bert, you topped the field. You tied with Worker Bee, winning week number 38. So big week there for Bert. So our point standings right now in the pick'ems, I'm at 639, Changa at 619, 20 points back. Bert at 609, Rainman at 600, and Dano has jumped into the top 5 at 589.
Yeah, Rainman had a really bad week last week.
Rainman had a rough week. He did, yes. Governor at 588, Uper 571, Coach at 550. He should probably get the dud. Worker Bee 536 and Tardy at 532. Man Bun Dan 510, Beefcake at 442, and Bromance rounding out the field. This week we are picking. There's a pair of World of Outlaw sprint car races in Ohio, Findlay, Ohio, and Hartford, Ohio. We're going to pick those. 2 high limit races, Bridgeport, New Jersey, and Spring Run, Pennsylvania, Path Valley Speedway. A pair of Hunt the Front late model races down in Milton, Florida at the Southern Raceway. Mod Mania at Tri-State Speedway, UMP Dirt Car Modifieds Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Then it's the Featherlight Fall Jamboree, USMTS Modifieds at the Deer Creek Speedway Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The 50th annual Red Clay Classic. A pair of Lucas Oil Dirt late model races at Brownstown. The 4th annual CJ Rayburn Memorial and the 46th annual Jackson 100. And we're going to pick the Winter Nationals are back at the Brown County Speedway in Aberdeen, South Dakota. So out of those races, I myself easily, it's without question, I'm mostly looking forward to the Red Clay Classic. How about you guys? Bert, what sticks out to you this weekend? What are you most excited about this week?
Well, I would agree with you. The Red Clay Classic. I mean, anytime you have an event that reaches 50 years, that's something special to begin with. And they're not just saying this is our 50th year. I mean, they're putting some money behind that also. So that's definitely what I'm looking forward to the most.
Absolutely, Changa.
I guess I'm looking forward to the start of the Lucas Oil chase, as we call it. What did you just say? Jackson Nationals?
Jackson 100.
And what is that?
That's night number 2 at Brownstown.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Night number 1 is
Never
the
mind. I was like, oh my God, did I
Rayburn.
miss something on my picks? But yeah, no, the Lucas Oil late models Brownstown. That's going to be what I'm looking most forward to. I'm hoping that Moran and Huddy can get off to a good start and beat JD and RTJ and make this a battle.
That would be best. In a perfect scenario, they're all within 10 points going into the final night at the Dirt Track World Championships. That would be epic. All right, bold predictions. We had a few come off the board. We make 3 bold. Sometimes Changa makes them predictions, and we keep track of what we got correct and the percentage correct. So this past week, Bert, you said it would be an all non-Lucas podium at Knoxville. Well, it was Huddy and RTJ and Devin Moran. So that was not correct. Just in case you were wondering. World of Outlaw Sprints, you said David Gravel and Buddy Kofoid would finish 1-2 in both races. And if there was only one, they'd still finish 1-2. Bert, that was a bad beat. Bert, Gravel got first, Kofoid got third.
I know.
You missed it by 1. You got another bad beat here. You said Justin Peck would get a pair of top 5s with 1 podium finish. You got 2 top 5s. He got 2 top 5s.
I shouldn't have added that parlay in there.
You shouldn't have. Yeah, you got 2 top 5s. You got a 4th and a 5th. 2 bad beats for Bert. That feels like a blocked field goal. It's kind of what that feels like, right? That feels like a blocked field goal.
No, it feels like an interception on like the 20-yard line.
That
feels like Jordan Love,
right? So Uper had 2 come off the board, and he was correct on both. He said Team USA would have the majority of podiums between mods, supers, Midwest mods, and streets up at the Thunder City Speedway, and it was overwhelming. It was like 5 or 6 more for Team USA than Team Canada. So he was correct on that. And then he said that Shane Sabraski would have 3 podiums at the Piston Cup and leave with a minimum of 1,000 wins after the Piston Cup. He was very nervous on night number 1 when he showed up in Thunder Bay. He's like, shit, he ain't even gonna be there. Well, he went to Thunder Bay, he turned around, he went back down to Granite, and he did exactly that. He got 3+ podiums, and he actually got 2 wins down there. He's at 1,001. Uper was correct. Changa, you had 3 come off the board. You said a third of the podiums at Knoxville would be non-Lucas. That was incorrect. You said Dason Pursley would be winless at Eldora. Also incorrect. And then you said Jason Fager would have a winless weekend in Mars. He got second. You were correct. He didn't get a win. He got second. He got second. So I had two come off the board. My first one, yeah, Changa thought he got that wrong. We can give it to you.
I thought they raced them both. I thought he won one and lost one.
No, they only ran one.
Okay.
So I had two come off the board. Jamestown Stock Car Stampede. I said both Mike Gresseth and Cole Gresseth would finish on the podium. And honestly, I thought that was a stat padding bunt. Well, Mike Gresseth in the late model got fourth. Cole Gresseth got a DNF. Wasn't a bunt. Then I said that Jason Fager would get two podiums. He'd podium both races and win one of them. But if only one raced, it would be on the podium. So I covered my bases.
That.
He got second. I got that one correct. So our stats here, Changa's still leading the way in both. You got 25 correct. Uper jumped over me to 22. I'm at 21. Bert's at 15. You are at 41.0% correct. I'm at 40.4.
Close.
Yep, and Uper's at 36.7. Bert's just shy of 30. So three predictions each here to close this show out, boys. We'll start with Bert. We'll go to Changa. I got Uper's. I got my own. Bert, what say you?
I'm going to go USMTS, and I'm going to say the point leader, Rodney Sanders, has no podiums this week.
No podiums for the 20. All right.
I'm going to go to Lucas Oil late models, and I'm going to say every podium will be a Lucas driver.
Every podium will be a Lucas driver at Brownstown between the two nights. And even if only one races. Okay. So all podium Lucas drivers. Okay. So Uper's first one here, he's going to go Red Clay Classic. They are going to eclipse 225 entries.
They're already over 220.
They are, but he added to it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Midwest Mods, all of these. This is a 5-leg parlay. Okay. 225 or more cars. Midwest Mods, 60 plus, 60 or more. Super Stocks, 50 or more. Modifieds, 45 or more. Late models, 40 or more.
Okay.
So 5-legged parlay there for Uper. All right. I'm going to go to the Red Clay Classic as well. I believe, and I don't know this for sure, and I should have asked him, but I think that Kevin Eater is pretty instrumental in this deal at the Neighborly Bar. Maybe him and Oreskovich both. I think they kind of spearhead this deal. That's where they raise money for the bridesmaid deal. Now, keep in mind, the winners, actually, the payout all the way through is freaking unbelievable. Eric Erickson and the whole crew at the ABC Raceway deserve a major hat tip for the job well done on putting together everything for this show. But I'm going to say this. There has been times where the bridesmaid, that money along with second place has eclipsed the winner's share, okay? But this year, I mean, keep in mind, it's $15,000 to win, right? For late models, $10,000 to win for mods, $7,000 for the supers, $3,500 to win for the Midwest mods. At least one of the classes, the second place driver with bridesmaid bonus money, that will eclipse the winner's payout in at least one of the classes at the Red Clay Classic. Bert?
I'm not even sure if he's going, but he usually goes. I'm going to say Nick Anvelink will have a top 5 finish at Ashland.
I would think he's going to be there.
Yeah. I would think so.
Yeah, I would think so. Nick Anveling, top 5 in the feature. All right. Changa.
So did you get any of the So the last week's race, and I don't know what it was, but it was like a Southern All Stars or something that was supposed to be co-sanctioned by the Hunt the Front. Did you see anything about that?
I didn't. I didn't.
So it was supposed to be co-sanctioned by the Hunt the Front, but Hunt the Front pulled out of it.
Okay.
And only thing I could guess is the reason Hunt the Front pulled out is because Joseph Joyner was not able to be there, right? That
Maybe.
makes sense. So he's able to be there this week. I'm going to go Joseph Joyner, 2 podiums.
That's the Hunt the Front race at Southern Raceway on his home turf. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Joseph Joyner, a pair of top 3 finishes at Southern Raceway. All right. Uper's got another parlay here. Okay. These 6 drivers, Shane Sabraski, Brandon Davis, Bobby Pierce, Hudson O'Neal, David Gravel, Rico Abreu. All of these drivers win at least 1 race this week.
Wow.
Okay. Now the stipulation is if these drivers they have to at least race 1 night for them to count. So for example, if
Right.
if Rico, if his 2 races get rained out, it's still a parlay, but he's not included in it. Okay.
Okay. So the other guys are just in it.
They all, yeah.
Still
in order
counts,
for,
but he's not in it.
yep, they all count. So they all have to win at least 1. And if any of the drivers don't race this weekend for whatever reason, then it turns into a 5-driver parlay or a 4-driver parlay, so on and so
Yeah,
on.
I like that. That's cool.
Okay, I'm gonna go Featherlight Fall Jamboree down at the Deer Creek Speedway. I've raced that event. It's a hell of an event down there. Deer Creek's awesome. So there's been a little drama there between old Brandon Davis and Jim Chisholm. They are not friends right now. The last time they raced against each other, shit got tore up, fingers were flowing, videos were made, it got heated. Brandon Davis has a better average finish than Jim Chisholm over the nights this week at the Featherlight Fall Jamboree. Brandon Davis, a better average finish in A-main action than Jim Chisholm.
Wow. All right.
All right, Bert, 3rd and final lap around the track.
Oh, Lucas Oil. I'm gonna say between these 2 races, both Moran and Huddy will each have at least 1 podium finish, with one of them getting a win.
Okay, repeat that.
They will each finish on. They will each have at least 1 podium finish, and one of them will get a win. So both of those have to happen for it to be correct.
I like that.
Okay. Okay, who's they
Hope
one
you're
more
right.
time?
What's that?
Huddy and who?
Moran.
Huddy and Moran. Okay. Huddy and Moran time. I like it. I like it. All right, Changa.
So I'm gonna say I'm gonna go World Outlaw Sprint Cars. Millstream and Sharon. I'm gonna say the combination of David Gravel, Buddy Kofoid, Carson Macedo have every single one of the top 2 finishes.
Okay. Repeat them drivers one more time for everybody.
Carson Macedo, Buddy Kofoid, David Gravel. So 2 nights, them 3 drivers will be the top 2 both nights.
Okay. Okay. All right. Uper's 3rd and final prediction. He's going to stay on the Kennedy Swan train here. Jason's going to probably have to have a talk to this guy about kind of jinxing his daughter. Okay. Kennedy Swan will make the A-main at the Red Clay Classic. She will finish, and she will finish on the lead lap. It's going to be a stout field. That's not a gimme by any means.
That's why.
So,
I mean, the lead lap isn't a thing because there's going to be yellow. It's the Red Clay. Yellow, 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 yellow.
maybe. I hope she fucking gets a top 5. But
yeah, she probably will. She's going to be on the lead lap. She's going to make the feature. It's a bunt.
It's a bunt. Okay. All right, my third and final one, I'm gonna go Red Clay Classic as well. I'm gonna go parlay here. I don't know who you guys have picked.
Are we gonna say who we're picking?
Yeah, we can. You're committed to who you're gonna pick, so I'll say mine.
I'm not.
So we can.
I'm still flipping coins, but I can commit.
You can commit. Okay. All right. So 4A mains, late models, modifieds, super stocks, Midwest mods, 4-legged parlay. These 4 drivers will all see podium finishes.
Yeah.
Ashley Anderson, Jody Belfi, Ashley Anderson in the late model, right?
Yep.
Jody Belfi in the mod, podium finish.
Yep.
Shane Sabraski. Did I say top 5 or podium?
Podium.
Podium. Shane Sabraski in the super. And in the Midwest mod, I'm going to go with Tyler Vernon.
Okay.
So all 4 of those drivers will be on the podium.
Fair enough.
And that's my 4 drivers.
All right.
Who's your 4?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick who's gonna win. Go ahead, Bert.
Late models, Ashley Anderson. Modifieds, Daryl Nelson. Super stocks, Terrence Spacek. Midwest mods, Joey Jensen.
Okay. Changa?
No, if I put this on the show and change it in my picks, is that a thing?
Nope.
It has. This is legit. This is for real.
Legit. We gave you ours, and we're the top 3 in the pick. So yeah, you are committing.
Midwest mods, Joey Jensen. Super stocks, Shane Sabraski. Modifieds, I'll go Jody Belfi. Late models, who'd you pick?
Who did I pick?
Yeah.
I picked Lance Matthews.
Yeah, I'll go Cole Searing then.
Okay, you're taking Searing. I took Ashley Anderson.
Well, I just wanted to go different.
Yeah. And you didn't on 2 of them. And I dang near went Kevin Eater because he's been so good at invite time. But Ashley Anderson is on the Mount Rushmore of talented drivers that I've raced against in my racing
I would
career.
have picked Ashley Anderson if we wouldn't have done this. I would have picked Ashley.
Yep. So Ashley, Jody, Shane, and Tyler Vernon is who I have. So there we have it. 50th annual Red Clay Classic. Look for some stuff between me and Ben Brost. We're excited to give you some content, and hopefully
one more thing. We talked about TPO, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what he's doing this weekend? He's got a kid on the way.
I don't think he's racing this weekend.
I do not think he's gonna race this weekend. He does have a kid due Saturday.
Yeah.
But another thing that I heard today, Brandon Kopp, congratulations, he has a child on the way.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Baby Grizzly Adams. How about
Yes.
that? Baby Grizzly Adams.
Yep. They had a thing on Facebook. Predict it's, was it a boy or a girl, blue or red or whatever, pink or blue, so. Congratulations, Brandon. Congratulations, Tyler.
Right.
Good luck. Hope everything goes well. Healthy, happy babies. Hopefully we have a future Grizzly Adams racer, all them things. So
Absolutely. And one last time, good luck to all the drivers. First of all, this weekend racing for national championships. That point battle is fierce. It's very stressful this time of year. So good luck to you. Keep your head on straight. And good luck to everybody in Wissota country racing at the Red Clay Classic, Lou's Madtown Showdown. Sheridan, Wyoming, I believe I think they have a doubleheader this week. I think that's this week. And then, of course, the Brown County Speedway with the Winter Nationals. So good luck to everybody racing this week. And thanks for tuning in to the One to Go Show.